Oh, they had problems with one of the ski lifts recently.
Well, apparently
he
has insider information that it's because they're understaffed and they can't man it properly.
Oh, very
You're
good.
not level 6 ski lift technician.
They do a level 6 now.
They must do.
Oh God, I'm so out of touch.
You got the level 4 piano tuner. Remember that from the last episode? I can't keep up with your qualifications.
I'm not a piano tuner.
Open University.
I've got all the grades in piano, but...
How many grades are there? 8. Level 8. Mad. Do you know what's next? The Elite 4. Good luck. You never play Pokemon, so you wouldn't get it.
No, never played Pokemon.
I hate old people. And by that I mean you.
Maybe we should get him a really old Game Boy and Pokemon Red.
The thing is, I had a Game Boy.
September.
Is it?
September 23rd.
Guess what you're getting for your birthday?
Pokemon cards?
A Zimmer frame.
Oh, okay.
Get the tennis balls.
I've had DMs from people about my age and shit because of you.
Yeah, and they keep mentioning, they keep sending me poos, and they keep mentioning your hips as well, and they keep sending me the middle finger emoji as well, which I think is really rude, but
that's quite funny, to be fair.
What, that you've instigated ageism?
To clarify, when I say I hate old people, I don't hate old people, I just hate Chris.
I want to get a DM of a poo every time you've listened to an episode.
But not an emoji, an actual picture.
No, I don't want pictures of poos.
Oh, you've changed. Chris, internally he's there like, here we go. We just haven't spoken about poo all day. No, we started.
But we haven't mentioned yet. I'm not going to say the word.
Toilets.
Oh God.
He told me last time. He said, Harry, I want your toilet waffle. You literally said, I want all your toilet thoughts.
Toilet waffle.
Did you record anything?
They're in my head. I can spit them off the dome right now.
A toilet waffle sounds horrendous.
Toilet waffle.
Is that where you fold the paper in on itself so many times?
Can I actually tell you a funny story? So I shaved my legs, yeah? Because I was just sat there, I was like, you know what?
Ad.
It's midnight. Hashtag manscaped myself. So I'm there shaving my legs. And then obviously I was like, you know what? As soon as I started, regret. Stupid idea. It just took a lot longer than I thought.
You didn't get to bed till 4 a.m. Yeah,
because I was shaving my legs.
It had grown back in that time.
Honestly. But then the next morning, I wake up, I go to the toilet, and obviously I do the fold of the toilet paper. I put it on my leg. Didn't realise how useful leg hair is to hold it in place, and now it just slides off my leg. So when I put the toilet paper on there to fold, and I go to like doing that, and I go like,
can I just clarify, the toilet paper hadn't been used?
No, hadn't been used.
So
I pulled the toilet paper off,
poo on the
floor. Put it on my leg to do the fold, and then it's gone. I was like, the leg hair was my traction. It's like I've turned off traction control. That's what I've done right now. I'm livid about that.
You've shaved off traction control,
honestly, and I feel a bit naked. I feel like my pants keep falling down as well.
There's a smoothness to enjoy though.
Yeah, well,
it's weird in the shower. It's just I wash it comes off.
So I'm going on holiday again in 2 weeks to Cyprus.
When are we going on holiday?
And I'm tempted because I've actually got myself quite lean now. I'm quite happy about that.
I saw.
Yeah, looks
Congrats.
Good.
I will probably remove my hair in advance of holiday, simply because, right, I will use half as much suntan lotion without the body hair.
To be fair, body hair really does take a lot of...
Gets matted.
I actually use instead of lotion, the tanning oil, which has got it's much easier to apply than lotion.
Is that going to prevent you from getting skin cancer like us?
Yeah, it's got the same
SPF.
It's got the same SPF 30, 15, whatever you want.
What one do you use? What SPF?
I normally start on a 30 and then finish up on a 15.
I'll start on like 50.
You're a SPF 90 guy.
That's a bit of me, that is.
Yes.
You are Casper.
I just put Tipex on my body and hope for the best.
And it was like, you got a tan now.
Literally, paper. Wow, is that bullying? I think that might be bullying.
Oh,
really.
you can't talk about bullying when you're literally ruining me.
I'm character building.
Questionable.
What's this comment you wanted to read? Go on, read to me.
What, me?
Yeah, you said there was a thing about menus.
Oh, yeah. So obviously we do appreciate anyone sending in any conflab that relates to previous subjects. Your opinions on our opinions are always very useful because, we're just 3 guys. What the fuck do we know?
Facts.
Absolutely nothing.
We need to hear from you the listener.
We had lots of people DM us about the menus. I had about 15 DMs.
Is it?
Different
exciting.
people.
Did you say, is it?
Is it?
Is it?
Is it?
Is it? Do people still say that? Is it?
No. Maybe. Maybe.
Okay.
It's on the comeback.
Okay, so in reference to calories on menus, this comes from Hannah, who put a very well thought out response to us.
Hi, Hannah.
I'm going to read it.
Greetings, Hannah.
I am generally very aware of what I'm eating. I enjoy cooking healthy meals at home every day, But when I've decided to go out, it's usually to treat myself once in a while and have something I either couldn't make at home or something maybe slightly unhealthy like a pizza. I know calories on menus will make me feel bad about what I'm consuming because I will most likely be going for high-calorie foods when I treat myself. So therefore, it feels like my enjoyment of treating myself and having something which doesn't 100% align with my goals is now a negative experience which will make me feel guilty, even though I take care with what I eat every day in terms of nutritional value and volume of food, bar the 2 to 3 times a month that I go out for food. I personally choose not to track my calories because I know it will lead me into the realm of disordered eating and a bad mental health spiral. Now I won't have that choice when I want to go and treat myself. Eating and nutrition should be a positive experience where you enjoy fueling your body with a balance of different foods, and I constantly struggle to stay on the right side of that balance. Also, I agree that it will encourage people to go for lower calorie foods without thinking about the nutritional values as you raised. Sometimes a superfood salad has more calories than a portion of chips, but for general health it's much better. I agree with Harry that this could lead to deficiencies down the line, even for those who know about food value.
That was good. That was good. Good
yeah,
message,
exactly.
Yeah.
People that actually, give a shit and want to send indecent responses to our waffle.
You know what, Hannah? If you're listening to this or watching this, because we are on YouTube right now, I want everyone to just land over on YouTube as well. Pump Fiction YouTube channel. Hannah, I appreciate you. You're a good egg, and I very much respect and appreciate your comment. And I align with how you feel.
I mean, if anyone feels like they've observed anything, because obviously we have our topics that we decide. But if you've seen anything out and about and you want to tell us about it, fitness or otherwise, even just a funny story, send it in.
Please do.
Contribute to this, this strange vehicle of chat that we've created.
Yeah, because it makes
good answer
easier.
though.
Yeah, very good.
That's a great answer.
That was bloody fantastic, and I'm fully on board with it.
Yeah, very on board.
Actually, when I was eating out this weekend, I actually did notice the calories on the menu, which I never normally pay attention to.
Was that when we were on? So did I raise this to you when I said the accuracy is questionable? I'll tell you that now.
It depends on the quality of company that they've employed to do that testing.
Well, also, who's making it? Like, I'm pretty sure if I eyeballed a portion, he eyeballed a portion.
At the end of the day, if someone's feeling more generous when they're scooping your chips onto a plate,
because some of the calories that because that meal I had, apparently, don't believe it, a lot. And I actually really like the first point she made. It was like, if I'm going out to eat, I just want to enjoy it. Yeah, 100%.
Like, I think more likely it's going to be a high fat, high carb meal if it's really tasty. Because let's be honest, those ones are really tasty.
It's one of those things. That's why I kind of presented with I think people are allowed the option, but it shouldn't be forced down their throat. Do you mean? Because some people do just want to enjoy it, but other people do want to, because maybe they eat out more regularly for work. Well, I do want to be a bit more aware. But then they had the option, can I ask for the calories? But then they shouldn't feel like, those who want to enjoy it shouldn't feel like they have to see the calories. Definitely. Middle ground, compromise, like relationships. Compromise.
Wow, that was a journey.
There you go. It's a big intro for us today.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, this is just supposed to be the normal bullshit chat at the beginning, not the serious stuff.
I've got notes.
That you just written your name over and over again.
Yeah. I was actually going to write, I love you. But then I was like, no, I'm masculine.
I had quite an interesting day today. Just a very normal day working at home. However, someone brought a dog for me to look after.
Oh, I saw your Instagram. Very sweet dog.
For an hour, I had to look after one of my other half's clients' dogs.
What was his name?
His name was Ven.
Oh, that's a cool name.
And he was incredible black German Shepherd puppy.
Oh, sweet.
He had the biggest paws.
God, he's going to be huge. He's going to be huge. But oh my God, for an entire hour is an exhausting bundle of energy.
Oh, I love it though. Honestly, love it. That's why I'm covered in hair. Dogs all over me out here. Best time of my life. Also, just to clarify, if you made it this far into the podcast, probably about 10 minutes. If you have a dog or a cat, please, or a pet, please send us photos of your pet to Pump Fiction Pod on Instagram. Would very much appreciate
Pump Fiction Pets.
I'll make a little collage.
Do a highlight reel and put on the story. We'll put all the pets on the story and do highlights.
Yeah, definitely.
Pump Fiction Pets. Pod Pets.
Pump Fiction Pets.
Pump Pets.
To be fair, a lot of people bigging up the Pump Fiction name. I had someone ask me saying, how did you come up with the name? I was like, I didn't. He did.
Truth be told, it wasn't us.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it wasn't me. It was the first one he came up with as well.
Do you know what it was? Because I don't know why, but I think you and I were talking about films for whatever reason at that point. And I thought, I'm going to look through IMDb Top 250 and pick out a film name that somehow relates itself. And as I only got to like number 12 or whatever it is, wherever Pulp Fiction is. And I was like,
good movie.
Pump Fiction. It's like, fuck, yeah, that's it.
Actually,
Done.
it's a really good name.
Is that what our name's based on?
Oh my god, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, someone did mention about why isn't our intro music the kind of, is it the piano?
We did have that in one episode.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're only on season 1 of Pump Fiction. When we get to season 2, maybe
seasons.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a break, are we? A hiatus?
No, we're just gonna every now and then we just add another season.
All right, so just randomly an episode will be season 2, episode 1.
I need a playlist for YouTube. We have episodes, and we also have season 1.
There you go.
Still have it.
You could just have it on in the background in the preamble.
Yeah.
Might listen to this when I train later.
It gets me in the right flow state of being silly.
Did anyone used to watch Westworld when it was on TV?
I'm 10 years younger than you.
Great.
Not, mate.
It wasn't great. It's fairly recent. I mean, it's Sky Atlantic.
Yeah, enough said. Sky Atlantic didn't even know they existed.
Can't afford that.
I don't use Sky. I just.
But there was
on the internet.
There was like a Western saloon where they would always play like covers like this of things like Metallica and Soundgarden and stuff. Like, but on in a Western piano vibe. It's quite good. Anyway, I'm going to bring that down.
Did you see Will from Lorna Shore covered Sleep Token?
Who gives a fuck about Lorna Shore all the time?
No, I care about Sleep Token. I didn't know. What song?
Shit, what was the song?
I don't know. You just told me last year.
New album, H.
Honestly, don't do
Hypnosis.
this.
That one. Hypnosis, yeah.
Hypnosis,
he just covered it.
Oh, great.
It didn't really get to test his vocal range enough.
No.
Good song, but I don't think it's the right song for him
We
to
want
cover.
people to listen to keep listening to this show.
Yeah, Mike's listening to me. I'm listening to Mike. There you go.
Fine. Do it in your own time.
Oh, Dad's grumpy again.
Can I just say...
boy.
Can I just say, though, that my Pump Fiction Spotify playlist has had 6 likes?
Mike, quick question. Did you ask? Because I didn't. It's crazy. Children, please behave. We're having fun.
We are having fun, aren't we? Has anyone else got any news before we launch into the show? Because this is where you get all the kind of banal crap out of your head.
No, I still look like the naked mole rat Rufus from Kim Possible. That's about it, to be honest. That's all I've got.
That's all you've got.
I've got nothing.
Nothing's really happened in my life.
I think things have happened, but I'm just my brain right now is just thinking about.
Well, look, we're just going to start the episode.
Slap me.
All right, fine.
Stick it in.
Yes, welcome, bienvenue, willkommen, and welcome in other languages that I can't think of right now.
I barely know English. What are you piping up?
I should technically be learning a bit of French. I'm off skiing on Friday to the French Alps.
French speaker.
This guy gets level 6 and suddenly thinks he's going to take on the big...
No, I think he's level 3 French speaker.
Honestly, incredible C's. You got GCSE in French?
Yes, and German.
You got A level?
No.
Well, crack on, big man. Let's go.
Yeah.
Come on, hit me with some of your your A-level stuff then. Come on, what you got?
I didn't do that many A-levels.
Oh dear. But hello to everyone all around the world who does listen to us. I'm still amazed that people are listening to this nonsense. But yes, I am Christy Fellows here once again. He's Harry Moore.
Hello.
Yes, and he's Mike Carter. And we're on YouTube.
His hair's down, by the way. I want everyone to acknowledge this. Why you should watch us on YouTube, because his hair's down.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you will see Mike's beautiful locks.
Just in time for the next Thor movie. Billowing
in the breeze. We need like a fan in the room just so we can get his Mariah Carey moments.
Harry, just talk a bit more.
And then we'll play Bleeding Love by Leona Lewis. That's why his hair.
I don't like her music. I know you said the word hate, which is very strong.
I think Bleeding Love is I don't care for any of her other songs, but Bleeding Love, absolutely. I slap my knee every time that song comes on.
You slap your knee?
It's a proper knee slapper.
You keep calling Chris old. Who slaps their knee still when they like something?
Because I'm not due a knee replacement. He is. I can slap my knee.
Fine, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That? You're the one with the Zimmer frame, big man.
Yeah, okay, good. Thank you for that. I'm still enjoying all the lovely DMs that I get from people abusing me for my age.
That is so funny. That is actually so encouraged. Bags of encouragement. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for the poos, everyone, as well. The emojis.
Love it.
Just want to
I would like to say, though...
Tarnished all of you.
Given that I am the eldest, who's actually the leanest and the most in shape currently out of us?
How much you bench? Yeah, crazy.
I can't do anything at the moment, so I'm going to stay out of this.
He's the most functional. He's probably
to be fair,
physically, he's probably the healthiest of us all.
I will say though.
Let's find out.
Oh, here we are.
I will say though, after all me moaning about injuries earlier on in previous podcasts around December and so on, I feel good finally.
He's made it.
I can actually pull all the big weights that I was pulling before without pain, and I feel good.
He's functional.
You know that Tom Hanks bit where he talks about that too shall pass? Remember that?
Yeah.
You give it 2 weeks. I hurt my elbows again, boys. Tendonitis.
My hip's gone.
But it's a lesson in patience, because ultimately, tennis elbow is a bit of a fucker.
Oh, I hate it. I've had it so many times.
And someone said to me, well, I did some research. It said it'll probably last about 6 months. I was like, fuck, that's not going to last 6 months. Looking back, it's probably lasted about 6 months.
Yeah, mine probably have lasted anywhere from about 3 to 6, depending on how bad the issue's been.
And how willing you are to stop training to let it recover.
I've had a bit of a niggle there for about nearly 6 months. So we power through though, because it's not hindering my training, just hinders this.
Quality of life.
Yeah, she does help. We'll get there another time.
Yes, so we are now officially on YouTube after Harry has very diligently been uploading. Thank you.
Yeah, that shit took time. My videos don't take that long to upload. They take some time, but because obviously I prep like a 20-minute video, not a 2-hour podcast.
And whose fault is that?
All of us.
Well, yes, exactly.
We're all accountable to that.
Yeah, you silly rat.
We're all to blame in some way.
I'm feeling pretty fired up today.
You're well spicy today.
Yeah,
What's up with you?
It's because I'm hungry. I'm ready to go.
Do you know what? I am a bit concerned that I ate an hour ago and I haven't got anything to eat now until the end of this show.
The tough world we live in.
I know. Can we not order room service? Can we not do that, Michael?
I don't know.
Probably. Don't trust him.
Don't trust him.
Don't trust him. He's going to bring up some healthy food.
Anyway, topics for today, boys. I'm leaving this in your hands for once. I don't know why I've done this, but what have you got for me?
Well, actually, our 3 topics all link together, don't they? And I've actually screwed up my piece of paper that has it on. So what are they, Harry?
Evolution of fitness.
Evolution of fitness.
That one, yeah. And then we've got
our journey through fitness.
And then gym culture.
Love
it. He knew that off the top of his head.
Can you go into a little bit of detail on what the fuck those 3 things mean?
Well, that's why they're there. So he could do just that.
Okay, fine.
There you go. So now you got to tune in and see what's coming next.
Fine. Before we move on to those, has anyone got anything they'd like to talk about? That's
I had my blood test done. I had a full panel.
Why?
The advanced wellness.
I want to see where I'm at. I've never had a full blood test done.
I should do that.
I've never had a panel done.
Medichecks.
The lady that did it in Camberley, very nice. I forget her name now. Sorry. Shout out to whatever clinic it was. Travel clinic in Camberley. Very nice.
It's very exciting, isn't it?
Took 2 or 3 minutes. She took 3 vials. Sealed it in a thing.
Do you send it off ASAP Rocky?
ASAP Rocky. I did it in the morning. I did it fasted, completely fasted, water and food. And hopefully get some results back.
Can we read them out? Can you give them to us to read out live on the next show?
I'll see what they come back as to us. If anything comes back like, dude, you need to go and see a specialist.
It's not good, Mike.
All one thing is take kidney readings with a pinch of salt if you haven't had any water that day.
Yeah.
We're still finding traces of crayons in your blood.
That'd be better funny.
Can you imagine? You need to come and see the crayon specialist.
There is wax. We have found wax.
Yeah, I'm really excited for your results.
Can you imagine if it came back and they were actually all right?
I think they will be. I think you probably have pretty good results.
Why are yours going to be bad? You haven't dabbled with substance? Or?
No, but I have been really ill this year.
Okay.
To be fair. Yeah, but again, I still think you're still pretty on it with things. I know you've been stressed with what's been going on in life, but I think your results are probably going to be quite good.
We'll see. It's good to know where you're at, right?
So, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I feel like I'd quite like to know, given that I'm old as fuck.
I'd like to get the result and then do 3 months of everything almost to the T, and then do it again, and then see what effect it's had.
I was watching a doctor yesterday speak about it. He said he usually recommends people do that and then give it a month or 6 weeks and then go again, but spend that month or 6 weeks just nailing everything, dietary improvements, sleep improvements, things like that, nailing the training and just seeing what changes.
Interestingly, I haven't really tried that hard to drop weight recently, but since I've started obviously doing the running, so I'm running 3 times a week and trying to increase my speed with that.
Level 6 runner.
Level 6 runner.
He's going to be like the Flash.
I broke my 10k record, my own personal 10k PB at the weekend. I was buzzing after that, to be fair.
Same.
And and then I've done doing the climbing twice a week. But previous to that, when I tried to drop weight for competitions or shoots or whatever, I'd just torture myself, get up at 6 a.m. and go do an uphill walk on a treadmill for like 45 minutes to an hour. And I've done none of that. I've just done stuff that I enjoy and stuck to my diet like fairly well. I'm not tracking because I've done it for so many years. I'm fairly intuitive with it. And fuck, it seems to be working well. I'm eating more carbs than I think I would do normally as well. So I don't know. I just feel like doing more stuff you enjoy actually fucking works.
Yeah. Well, you look at a lot of European cultures, especially like the Northern European cultures, they have a lot of physical activity, just like the stuff that you do, obviously, maybe not running and climbing stuff, but they do skiing and things, and they just do that's their cardio. And then they eat well, obviously, and they exercise, and they're quite healthy.
Good times. But anyway, shall we delve onto... Hang on. So, topic number 1, as Ronnie tells us. Harry.
Evolution of fitness. How the fitness industry perhaps has changed.
So was this submitted to you, a question?
I actually don't know where this one came from. I'm going to be honest. I think we just randomly came up with it based on the second one, which was submitted to me.
Fine. So evolution of fitness.
Well, we kind of spoke about expos and stuff, how they've changed as well. So that's part of the evolution to some extent, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I guess it means going back in time a little bit to what we perceive fitness used to be like, I don't know, let's say 10, 15 years ago.
When did you guys get into fitness?
So me personally, I would say I started going to gyms about 12 years ago.
So when would that have been?
2010.
Yeah.
2010.
Probably similar time, but same as you, really.
I was tempted to speak to my friend Ryan, who's been training since he was like 15. I'd be interested because he's a bit old school, so I think he's probably seen a lot more. But yeah, to be honest, when I used to go, I mean, I guess it's more like the perception of gyms. Like when I was younger, when I was at school, no one was interested in lifting weights or going to the gym at all. Obviously, they played sport and stuff, but like the school had a very tiny gym and no one went in there apart from, there was like one kid who would carry a protein shake around and everyone thought he was fucking weird.
My guy.
Exactly. But now, like,
now he's enormous.
Now, like,
now it's Ronnie Coleman.
Like you get an 11, 10, 11-year-old kids who want to train with their parents or with their older brothers or whatever, and it's that perception of the gym being part of a routine is just so normal now, and that makes that. Do you know what that leads me to wonder is like how bodies will evolve. I know this is completely unrelated, but if you consider that people getting into lifting weights or different sports at much younger ages now, surely that's going to change body shapes and so on a little bit, isn't it? I don't know.
I guess it will over thousands of years.
No, but like, I don't know. I think you'll see people in their late teens who are absolutely jacked and they're natural just because they have applied that resistance to a growing body compared to older people like me who started lifting weights at 26, let's say. I'm trying to apply that resistance to a body that's fully developed.
No, I hear what you're saying.
I saw someone made a good point about how because there's been obviously a lot of science surrounding nutrition, PEDs, training, all sorts coming out, especially recently, a lot more kind of based around optimization. People are thinking, provided people can still apply those principles whilst maintaining the key principles of like intensity, etc., that a lot of the younger generation who are getting into fitness at 13 years old are probably going to be pretty yoked at 20 sort of thing. Because think about 7 years of absolutely nailing your training with all good information.
And all that growth hormone flowing around their body.
And being a kid and not having so many stresses in your life, like jobs and stuff. Like you just go to school, train.
The dream, isn't it?
And eat.
It's the dream.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really know about eating enough until I was probably in my 20s.
I'd say the same. I was in the fitness industry and I didn't even train properly the first couple of years I was in the industry. Like I used to go out and party far too much. I stayed lean because I didn't eat any food.
Yeah, I literally ate like shit, and by shit I just didn't eat any food.
Yeah.
I used to live off. I probably had about 60 grams of protein a day.
I've got two clients that want to work with me that are both kind of 14, 15, like London Irish, kind of scouted. And they're so interested in developing explosive power. And I'm pretty sure the only people that I thought at 15 that had explosive power were superheroes.
At 15, I was interested in slapping some Beyblades around and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, doing explosive power.
I had Pogs.
Of course you did. It's a gift that keeps on giving, isn't he?
Pogs were great, though.
Tazos.
Tazos.
They came in packs of Walkers, Chris.
I bet you fed your Tamagotchi better than you fed yourself.
I did have a Tamagotchi.
Bang, killed it all the time.
But I don't remember it being alive much. For long.
Yeah, I used to just kill my sisters. That's her problem to deal with. It's not me problem.
Young people investigate Tamagotchis. Although I think they came back around, didn't they?
I think they're still somewhere.
Yeah.
I think they're quite big in the East.
Yeah, no, I think, that's where they kind of originated from, isn't it?
There you go.
Yeah, fitness has definitely changed.
Yeah, so what are your perceptions of the evolution? What have you seen? How do you think things have changed? And for the better, I assume.
I think there's a few ways to kind of approaching things to consider. Is when I came into the industry, obviously social media has changed a lot as well, which contributes to my, I guess, observation. But when I came into the industry, when you say fitness in 2010, I think muscle and fitness, Men's Health, Flex magazine. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Just generic, everything free weights, kind of old school approach, and just Arnie, Pumpy Iron, shit like his bodybuilding encyclopedia, the good stuff.
I think one of the notable things is that there was so little spoken word or awareness about PEDs at all.
Oh, I thought everyone was natural.
So yeah, absolutely. I thought Arnold was natural up until like not even that long ago. And I just remember I would see like Flex magazine, especially. Flex was always like the more extreme. Like you had you had Men's Health, which was like kind of like lifestyle fitness, and you had kind of sexy guys on the front. Physique guys.
The early physique competitors where they actually look like fitness models.
Then you had Muscle and Fitness, which was more muscular and a bit more advanced, and then you had Flex, which was basically like
open
the
bodybuilding.
freaks, open bodybuilding freaks, like the big guys basically. And I was just like, what is that?
I had hundreds of their magazines. I think I probably still do actually. We were
going to bring them in on the show and start going through them.
I need to find them.
I'd love to see the articles written about like training and diets.
Okay, next episode. I'm making a note now. I'm going to bring in some old magazines.
So bad, but yeah, it's changed a lot. Now when I think of fitness of 2022, I think social media, like YouTube creators, TikTok, stuff like that, a lot more science-based, and also a lot less human interaction. Like we spoke about earlier, a lot less expos. Expos have gone from being consumer to commercial, which was sad to see, because I remember I was there when back in the body power days, glory days, loved it. Used to go see all the YouTubers this is when YouTube was really kind of getting, fitness YouTube was actually kind of becoming a thing. Loved it. When did I go last? 2019, I want to say. No one. Not barely any influencers, all brands trying to sell gym equipment. I'm so like, what's happened? It turned into FIBO basically.
Yeah, I don't really understand why that's happened either. Do people just not care? Are people just not famous enough anymore? Is that what it is?
Do you think we're like oversaturated? There's just so many people now that are like influencing fitness. It's almost like everyone. Before you had like the big names. Because the first Body Power I went to was 2013, and that was when I really got into the industry. And speaking about PEDs, that was when the glass shattered for me, was when the gym I worked in at the time, there were a few members who were taking them, and you wouldn't know it looking at them, because they were, safe to say, they were fairly unsubstantial in terms of their progress, and they've been on them for months. And then I thought to myself, well, if they're on them and they're not getting any progress, then what about these other big guys? And then obviously for me, it all changed when I realised that a lot of the usage was quite prevalent.
Yeah, it's definitely I think I kind of really noticed it at Body Power when I saw a lot of people's skin.
Oh, up close and personal.
Yeah, like a lot of people have like really bad skin, which again it could be all the fake tanning, to be fair, but it's definitely obviously a side effect, or is a common side effect of PEDs. I was a bit like, wow. It's a bit wild, this, but I don't know what changed. I don't know why the shift occurred.
I mean, those expos were amazing. They were so much fun.
Honestly, Body Power weekend, that weekend was the highlight of my year.
You used to get loads of freebies as well.
I got so many Gymshark t-shirts for free.
Much
I came back we used to just see who could get the most free shit, and I loved it. And it was just where you get like a group of 10 of us going, train in the evening, see all the influencers.
Oh yeah.
Loved
go out
it.
for dinner and then see them all stay in the hotel. They'll go to the same restaurant. And you're like, this is wild.
Loved it.
I used to work on a lot of the stalls as well, obviously, because I worked with various supplement brands, and my other half was sponsored by a few of them as well, and so on. And it was just fun. You'd just be behind the scenes, and also being behind a stand was quite fun, because you were people wanted to be you. And
who are you? Why are you stood there? I don't know. I want your picture though.
Exactly. I'm just helping out basically, but I felt like, yeah, this is cool. And like, I was lucky to meet a lot of famous people through it. Obviously working with Mark Bell and so on, interviewing Thor together was great. Interviewing Phil Heath together, being in the green room whilst they were talking about, Phil Heath was talking about all the kind of narcotics and stuff going on in Denver and magic mushrooms and shit like that.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
I used to love it. Like we'd get to like beginning of April when they'd release the tickets, and you'd sit there like, do I get the Friday Saturday ticket?
Yeah.
Or do I get the Saturday Sunday ticket?
Do I get VIP weekend?
Yeah. Do I go up? Do we stay the night? Like who can we fit in the car? Who wants to? And it would be like 4 or 5 of us in a car, and we'd just rock up. And I remember one year it was just so hot, and we got so much pre-workout throughout the day that we ended up just finding a gym brand that was near us, and we trained. We all pulled PBs.
Love it.
It was ridiculous. Like I don't think I slept for about 3 days. I had so much caffeine running through my body.
The other problem was because you sampled so many different bits of protein bar, the amount of farts it generated because of all the fake sugars in protein bars.
All I'll say is if you lit a match in the NEC, that shit going boom real quick. You know what I mean? Because there was a lot of methane occurring in there.
It ruined my guts for days. I was like, what have I put in my body?
I miss it because it was just, I think back then, I think we were very naive as well. So we kind of believed that all these influences were natural and we wanted to see them. And almost like, because that's kind of like, to us, they were celebrities. To most people, no one gives a shit who they are. But in the fitness realm, they were like our celebrities. There are TV shows.
It's like anything, isn't it? Any sport or any realm that has an expo, like Comic Con, for example. Or,
that'd be cool.
I actually do want to go to Comic Con. I want to go
as well.
Because I'm a massive fan of all the films and shows and stuff. So we can do that.
You could go as Thor.
No, that would be embarrassing. I'd need to get a bit bigger first.
Challenge accepted.
All right,
I guess I would go as Wolverine because I've been called Wolverine since I was like 15.
What would you be?
Professor Xavier.
Given your predilection to shaving yourself, shaving your head wouldn't be much.
That's what I'm thinking. And he knows I love a spinny chair. Do you know what I mean? You saw me in the last episode of that chair. God.
The thing is, if we wheeled you in, surely that's going to be...
I got Martin's psychology. I can read mine.
That's cancelled. We're cancelled.
Were we going to get cancelled if we put you
Especially
in a wheelchair?
when you get up out of the chair and they're like, hi, TFNL.
I guess if we try and use it, the parking spaces out the front, that'd be bad though.
Yeah, we couldn't take it.
I might get in a bit of trouble for that. Also, I feel like I would get a bit aggressive with my chair. If someone's in my way, you don't have any ankles left.
You did need a little horn on it. Just,
but I want like a trucker horn. Like a... Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And plus, I just want to actually ram people in the legs.
So are you genuinely picking Charles then?
No, I'd probably get in trouble for that. I don't know what I would pick. I don't really represent...
You're quite big, so you need to someone that represents that size.
You could be the Hulk. Me smash.
Okay, so
I feel like if I painted myself green, I'd look like I'm just horrendously infected.
Feel free, listeners, to pick Harry's. I want DM us Harry's suitable superhero
with a picture.
Wonder Woman.
It doesn't even have to be a superhero. It could just be a character from a cartoon or a comic or a super, something like that.
Snorlax.
If anyone says Johnny Bravo, I'm going to punch you.
Oh fuck, that's good.
He doesn't train legs.
Oh, what? Johnny Bravo? I thought you meant. I said Snorlax.
Yeah, that's very rude. We just say Snorlax.
You have a good nap.
I do like.
And the pokey flute is anything that gets you out of bed.
Snorlax sounds like a product that stops you from snoring or makes you shit yourself.
I do both those things. It's fantastic.
Snorlax it is.
Yeah, well done, boys.
Right, fine. We've wandered off topic, but
do you think that maybe with Expos, because bodybuilding was like the big fitness sport for such a long time, that Expos kind of bought into that culture a lot?
It used to be on like Olympia used to be on like ESPN in America.
Oh, I loved it. I think
it was on TV. People cared about it.
Yeah, no one gives a shit. I think realistically, a lot of people back then wanted to be fitness models. They wanted to be Greg Plitt and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and wanted to be on magazines.
But the bodybuilding fitness.
Yeah,
game,
and now
isn't it?
I think people just want to be aesthetic for whatever reason that might be.
I think it's become more obtainable because people know more about it. And I hate to say it, but PEDs are now so much more commonplace in the gym.
And so normalised.
That suddenly looking like these people who seem to be familiar with the dark art of PEDs, and no one spoke about it. It was just like they were mythical because... no one said they were on anything, so therefore everyone assumed they weren't, and they were just like, better than everyone else. They were celebrities because they were unobtainable. Now suddenly people look great at the age of 21, and it's like, well, this isn't special anymore. I can look like that. I'm better than him. I'm going to compete. I'm going to win.
And then you might even have people wandering around the expo that are in better shape than the people that are.
I mean, that happens anyway. That's how my friend Martin Ford got discovered. He obviously...
it's not hard to miss him. He's enormous.
He was walking around... he went to an expo with his friend, and he walked past Rich Piana's stall, 5%.
Rip.
One day you may.
It's a bit sad, that, isn't it?
And he saw Martin, and he was like, who the fuck is that guy? I want that guy. Get that guy over here. And then basically signed him there and then, and just made Martin like famous, essentially.
Rich Piana walked past me once at the last Body Power I went to. His arm was as big as I was wide. I could not believe it. I'd never seen an arm that big before.
I've seen one man that I will never go over. I'll tell you the story in a second. But Rich Piana shook his hand. Most disgusting experience of my life. Because all the growth hormone that man was hammering, his hand was a sweaty cloud of soggy sadness. Obviously, RIP, because I think although he did push a lot of shit, he also was quite real about a lot of shit.
Well, yeah, he was like, I'm trying everything. I want to see what I can do.
And also, when it came to supplements, there's a few videos of him just saying, you don't need any of this shit. If you want it, cool, but if you don't need it, I like that. Yeah. But his hands, that handshake was disgusting. Steve Cook as well, soggy hands. It was really horrible.
Why the fuck do people have soggy hands?
Growth hormone grows every tissue in the body.
What, so it grows, why does it make your hands moist?
It gives you that kind of like thick, dense hand look, all that feel. And
puffy hands.
It's nasty. I was there like, bleh. Bleh. But I'll tell you, the biggest human I've ever seen in my life, I'll never go to this, Be Me, 2015 with Breach. Obviously think I'm juiced to the gills. I thought it was huge. I didn't, and I definitely wasn't. In Gold's Gym, Venice Beach. I don't know. I found him on YouTube once, and he didn't have a channel. He was just like, it was one of those random like made videos called like The Mass Mutant or something. This man was about 6'6". I reckon lean. He must have been near 160 kilos. He was, when I say big, Dexter Jackson walked up to him and asked for a photo.
Fuck.
And he shat on Dexter. He was like, I've never seen a human that big on TV or anything in my life.
Why had he not blown up?
Honestly, like I said, I saw one video of him on YouTube that blew up, and I've never found it again since. And Breach sent it to me. He goes, this was him. And he was massive. And I'm just thinking, like, I just cannot comprehend not only the height. Imagine Martin Ford, but twice the size of him.
That is scary.
And he was vascular as shit as well, so he's not hammering a shed load of synthol. I just looked at him, I was in disbelief. I couldn't comprehend it. I was just like, I've never seen a human. I never will see a human that big again. I never saw him again.
Talking of Dexter Jackson, actually, from Gold's in Venice Gym, he was sliding into my Mrs. DMs for a while. And I was like, I was encouraging
her. Wait, what? How did that happen?
Because she did an Arnold Classic, the same one he did.
Oh, of course.
And they chatted, and then he followed her back on Instagram. And then like a couple of months later, he started replying to her photos and stuff. And then he DM'd her, like just out of the blue. And I was like, this is hilarious. Please, we both sat there and started responding to it and stuff. He was like a married man as well.
As I say, is he trying to swinger? Is he trying to do something naughty?
No, I don't know. I think he just enjoyed a bit of chat, shall we say?
Was he getting flirty with it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Is it really horrendously bad flirting?
I mean, he was like 50 as well. So, nice. I mean, we're not talking Tim Westwood vibes, but...
What was he saying? Let me show you my 23 gauge needle.
No, I can't remember what he was saying, but it was just like... He was just very complimentary, shall we say.
It's a bit weird. I may admit.
People say weird things when they think no one else is ever going to see them.
Yeah.
Could you imagine just being a fly?
I just say weird shit in general.
You do.
So it's kind of, I'll get away with it.
I don't think you'd ever slide into anyone's DMs.
No chance.
Ever.
I'm far too anxious and awkward for that.
Well, yeah, you'd delete people off, dating.
Yeah, because they're too attractive. It's a trap, guys. It's a trap. I know what happens when you activate a trap card on Yu-Gi-Oh. It's not worth it. But yeah, honestly, so basically, you can do the sliding into my DMs if you want.
I'll slide into yours.
I'm encouraging you to slide into my DMs because I'll never slide into yours.
The side of fitness I think has grown though are some of the barbell sports. I think there's a lot more powerlifting competitions these days.
A lot more CrossFit.
There's loads more like functional. You've got National Fitness Games, Grid League, CrossFit still kind of growing.
Lifting as well. More people
Olympic lifting.
I think one thing I can say about that I've seen recently is younger people are actually more interested in strength than they are about aesthetics.
I think that. Well, see, I mean, see a different story on TikTok. I think it's largely because there's such a crossover.
Yeah, but then like I look at a lot of the young people around the gym that we train at, and I don't know. I feel like I'm the one who's more likely to be in a vest, like trying to get as lean as possible. Whereas other people, there's a much higher percentage of people trying to like bring in their weights belts and their chalks and their Theraguns and everything, and getting warmed up for.
I will say,
I know where this is going.
Oh, go on then.
No, I want to hear what you say. I think I know where this is going.
I will say, I think that's because the demographic that I attracted with the culture and the brand that I've built is probably curated that.
Do you think it's the gym specific? I suppose if you go to a more weight clangy kind of old school bodybuilding gym, you're going to probably get more kind of people in stringer vests slugging.
I'm not going to lie. I don't think people that are into aesthetics really care about like rogue plates and barbells. No. Whereas, because that was a lot of our marketing. But then the Watson kit, like they do push themselves as like bodybuilding focused because that's what they say they are. So we kind of have a mix of both. But I agree with you. I think a lot of the younger kids,
it's definitely more so, at least more so than it ever used to be when I first started lifting weights, because it was all about aesthetics and looking good. And
I just partly feel like this is also due to the fact that lots of people are understanding that a great way of getting bigger is by getting stronger. Yeah. And but back 5 years ago, that wasn't really promoted.
No, it was
even a few years ago. Strength and hypertrophy were completely different paths. Now you actually realise that they're very close and they overlap in many cases.
That's it. And it was almost like, well, you don't have to get strong to get big. And although there is some truth in that, it's like, well, why wouldn't you also get strong at the same time?
A lot of times, some of the biggest people are usually some of the strongest people. And also, if you're fucking strong, you're probably pretty big as well. Find me a guy with a massive squat with small legs. It's probably not going to happen.
Do you think it's also something to do with like the culture surrounding strength sports is a little bit, I don't want to say bodybuilding's toxic, but
I think they're both equally can be as equally toxic as the other. It depends. I've seen, obviously, coming out of powerlifting, that realm, not everyone. I found a lot of the older kind of generation I got on a lot better with. They were very established within the sport, and they would say, I just powerlift because I love lifting. Loved it. Like one of the guys I used to train with at Bridge Road, a guy called Russ, absolute freak of a man. He's a dad. He was like 47. He was second in the IPF, like in the world, a single ply equipped at 47 years old, under 100 kilos, squatted 315 kilos, and he never once did mobility in his life. Never had a coach. He just literally, I was like, I just lift heavy weights for 20 years and I got quite good at it. And he was just so content because every time he go to a competition, he would compete against someone and he was like, it's my friend him. They'd chat shit and they just loved it. They were just so happy to just be there, compete against each other. Then flip over when I competed in the juniors, I was a bit like, more when I went to go watch the juniors and kind of then competed. I think I was in open. I can't remember. I think I was open. How old was I? I think I was open. And there's a lot kind of cliquey mentality. I want to win. I want to do this. I was like, just want to lift some weights and have some fun.
I obviously have been to a lot of bodybuilding shows and obviously coached my missus through a lot of her shows, and I could very easily write a reality drama, a bit like Towie or something, based on the shit that went on behind the scenes at bodybuilding shows. Especially in the female side of it, the bitchiness in the bikini side of bikini fitness and stuff, and the shit that I saw backstage. I mean, I remember being at the Arnold Classic in Barcelona, and people are just frantically getting ready to get on stage and stuff. And I have seen people so desperate to get their tan sorted that there have been women back. Quite common for me backstage to see a woman or a girl completely naked whilst her partner or someone she knows is applying tan to them, and I mean completely everything out. And I remember one time this was happening, and the partition dividing like the backstage area and the expo, the wall fell down whilst the woman was being like completely.
No.
It was like she literally leapt out of her skin. But like honestly, the stuff people are willing to do. And a lot of them are so badly organised as well. So it's just ridiculous.
I think the thing that really highlighted again, this doesn't apply to everybody, this just applies to some of the things within certain disciplines, we'll say. One thing that really highlighted toxicity within powerlifting to me was when I did a video discussing what we deem to be the problems with powerlifting, and that very much went into the fact that the IPF promote themselves as the powerlifting federation, very like white collar sort of thing. We're all natural, we're drug tested, no one here takes drugs. I said, well, realistically, drug tested doesn't mean drug free. Do you know what I mean? We know that. And I said there's probably a fair number of people in the IPF, I know some personally, who have taken or are taking enhancements. It just is what it is. Like the Olympics.
Look at the Olympics. That is the most stringent.
Exactly.
Like there, and they even get away with it. So
and
don't.
But shit me, did the response kick? Oh my! This is when I was like, okay. I remember so many other conversations. So we had a few, but when we were referring to people, we never called anyone out directly by name because we weren't trying to spread hate.
Yeah.
But what we did do is basically speak about a lot of the American lifters. This is when like certain, I won't say names, but certain individuals were just coming up into powerlifting out of nowhere and were just shitty on the former champions that had been in it for years. And we're like, this is very suspicious. People that look like bodybuilders at a fairly light weight class, squatting 3.5 times their, probably about 3.5 times their body weight, and we're like, bloody hell, like young. I was like, that's a bit suspicious. Fucking hell, did the backlash kick off? Oh my lord, it was like a witch hunt against TFNL for a while. I had, fuck it, I'm gonna name him. What are they gonna do? Nothing. I had Kelly Branton, who was like number 3 in the world at some point, IPF from Canada. Oh, you're all fucking pussies because of this. We're on gear. I want to clarify, a year later he got popped for 5 different steroids or something. I'm pretty sure, I know he got definitely popped for Winstrol, but I'm pretty sure there are multiple other steroids. And then I messaged him saying, do you remember when you called me a pussy for calling you out, saying, I didn't even call him out, but implying that some of the IPF are on gear.
You're fucking lying.
And then he never replied. Just want to clarify, but he was in my DMs previously, so I know.
Did he block you?
Oh, you might block me. I'm not actually sure.
Goodness.
I had a lot of big names in the UK like powerlifting scene, world champions, world record holders, messaging me saying they want to fight me and all this stuff.
It's almost like, don't pull on this thread and unravel this because you will fuck it up for all of us.
Well, what I just said, I said, look, I understand how you feel. Something's clearly upset you, but the thing you have to understand is that I've said something indirectly, not even talking about you, because in all honesty, when half them messaged me, I said, no offense, I don't actually know who you are. Didn't know you existed till you sent me that message. So if something is offending you to this extent, does it apply to you?
If the shoe fits.
You know what I mean? And then they were like, bah! Kick it off.
Does the lady protest too much?
Oh, and then one of them, they'd be all, never care. This got me rolled up at the time, because obviously I egged it on. I egged it on. Breach was egging it on as well. He's calling people planks and shit. And I mean, like, I was sending people pictures of anusol and just said, for your wounds. And like, I was winding them up. People saying, I'm going to beat you up. I was like, no, you're not. Do you know what I mean? It's something necessary.
God, it's a bit much.
But I have one of them who's there like, I dare you to come to my gym and we'll show you how hard we train. I said, first of all, I want to clarify, I never said you didn't train hard. Second of all, who are you? Never met you before. Like, literally didn't know you existed. Third of all, I said, all right, fine. I said, how about this? You live about 5 hours from me. That's a big journey. I don't want to drive 5 hours. I said, but I'll meet you halfway at a gym. We'll train together. You give me some tips on my squats, and maybe we can just talk about where the differences lie, and maybe we can film it. I said, yeah, sick. Get it on YouTube. I said, convince the boys. We'll do it. I'm there for it. Red, no reply.
Crickets.
Yeah, red, no reply. A week later, he calls me out again. Oh, I told Harry to come see. He didn't even reply. Obviously, I post my screenshot of the DMs all over my story saying,
oh, God,
please respond.
You're like, what's it, Rebecca Vardy?
Honestly. But, like, I got so many death threats and, like, people threatening to beat me up. Then I went to a powerlifting event, like, 3 months later, and those are the guys who were threatening to beat me up. I was stood next to them just staring at them, like,
hi.
You gonna do anything?
Remember me?
Obviously, I'm not a violent guy, but it's just like, obviously I'm not looking for a scrap, but it's like, at least talk to me, we can resolve differences.
It was like for years when it was like the whole CrossFit versus powerlifting versus bodybuilding thing, people align so strongly with the identities. It's almost like they're so passionate about it, which is fantastic, but at the same time it's
too much.
Too much.
It was never the older generation. One of the IPF officials came up to me and goes, like, this is at my competition, comes up to me, loved him, I'm not gonna say his name, but really great guy, comes up to me and goes, you were implying this person in your video, weren't you? I said, yeah, maybe. He goes, I know he's on gear. I'm trying to pop him. I can't get him, but I know he is. I'm like, you're a ref. You're an official. And he's like, yeah, I know he is. I was like, thanks for agreeing with me. All the open people, the older generation, so friendly. They're like, I don't agree with you, but I thought it was a really funny video. Sick, thanks.
Yeah, they almost.
All the younger ones, well, not all of them. A lot of them are just arseholes. And I was thinking, Breach made the point. I think it was Breach, and he was just there like, He said they've just got nothing else, so they just latch on so intensely to something because they're finally good at something when they probably weren't good at other things before.
Yeah,
like I wasn't.
And
good
you're
at
basically you're shitting on that. So by default, even if you're not even addressing them, you're addressing their belief system. You're basically shattering their belief system.
90% of them I didn't even know existed, and they all thought I was talking about them. I was like, I've never heard your name before in my life. How am I going to talk shit about you when I don't know you? Like, you did not exist in my world until you sent me that message. Oh, I love it. I miss it. That's when it really highlighted how toxic that a group of them can be, and they're all from a very specific place as well.
CrossFit has the same problem.
I think all industries do.
Yeah, they all suffer with it.
Even YouTube, to be honest, YouTube's full of toxic bullshit. That's why I can't be asked to get involved with it.
At the end of the day, any sport or discipline that involves a hierarchy where someone wants to be better than another person is going to create that level of toxicity because, people just want to shit on the person beneath them or to get above them. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, that's why I think I speak about this in the next video, where people are very keen to bring people down rather than trying to rise to people's level. And
it's easier, isn't it? It's easier to knock someone down than to put the work in yourself.
It's not the sport's fault. It's the people within the sport who are taking things to that toxic extreme where they're latching on too personally to things. When in reality, it's just like, if it doesn't apply to you, just let it go. Crack on with your life. You do you.
So how are we going to round off the evolution of fitness? What have we established in this little ramble
Basically,
chat?
The world went from magazines and fitness models to optimization and social media.
Yes, I tend to agree with
that. And Body Power and Expo's died, which is probably the biggest disappointment I have with the industry because I loved them.
I tell you what, though, I've learned probably more through following really awesome people on social media
100% same.
In recent years than I ever did from magazines, because it really has evolved, and there are some fantastic people that you can follow on social media, because we talk about how bad a lot of things Instagram can be and can create, but there's so many fantastic people out there who are deservingly doing very well.
Tickle me this. Each of us say one person within the industry on social media that we really like and would recommend people follow, and then a quick justification on what they do. So, for example, hypertrophy folks, whatever. So go. Who's one person you really like within the industry? It doesn't have to be your favourite, just one person.
No. I would say Jordan Shallow.
Yeah.
At the moment.
But why? What's he good at?
The muscle doc. He is very good at, because a lot of his philosophy around fitness is like big picture thinking. He thinks about how everything kind of comes together, and I think he also doesn't take himself too seriously. So I think he's very good at like pulling back and being like, we're going too deep into this. We're overthinking it. And even in the course that I'm doing, often like we're talking about really complicated, like applied like biomechanics of movement and understanding how to look at a video and spot deficiencies in movement, and then he'll be like, but it ain't that deep sometimes you just got to lift heavy weight. Like, he made the comment about like he thinks 90% of Instagram at the moment is the iliac single arm pull down. He's like, if I see it anymore, I will basically do something to the internet. He's like, because for most people it's not optimal in terms of time.
It's a fantastic movement, but
it might you not train for 3 hours.
Tick other boxes first, sort of thing.
He's like, if you can do it with a client with 2 handles, then do it 2 handles. So that's someone I think that people should follow, because I think he speaks a lot about the wider picture of the fitness industry. So I think that's always quite good, and he's very smart. I think
I'm going to chuck 2 in. I'm going to go with Ben Bruno. I don't know if anyone knows him. Ben Bruno Training. I think his account is. I'm just going to check that. I like a lot of his. He does a lot of S&C with like top basketball players and famous people too. But he's just very. He's not. He doesn't bullshit. He's honest, and and I appreciate that. But if you look at his training styles, it's quite. He has a very small studio, but he works with like some incredibly famous people, and his training methods, I just think. I mean, you'll have to look at them, but I rate him. And another one is someone called Megan Calloway, who is
that name rings a bell.
Is really good at kind of like rehab and prehab exercises and stuff. Again, she just posts endless videos on like how to improve certain lifts and optimization and stuff like that. So 2 people I think are really good.
Cam's got very dark very quickly. It's very dark. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's fine. You're well lit. Don't worry.
I'd say my number one is, I'd probably say Ryan Jewers. He's very big on hypertrophy and optimizing hypertrophy, very science-based training. But again, I think this is primarily in the realm of bodybuilding, but also don't stress too much about optimizing when you haven't ticked other boxes first. Learn to train hard.
Intensity,
consistency. You can optimize all you want, but if you train like shit, you train like shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'd rather do a crappy movement and take it to the proximity of failure.
There's something to be said about like if you over optimize, you actually are like sub optimizing. It's almost like you just, especially when it comes to movement,
like paralysis by analysis sort of thing.
We've said this before, but focus on the basics first.
Yeah, 100%. And that will get you most of the way, most of the time.
Yeah, I think.
If you're looking for answers in improving, then unfortunately it's pretty boring. Like
training is very boring.
If you want to improve at something, it's pretty dull. And if you get a PT who gives you similar stuff over and over, don't quite, like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because ultimately sometimes it has to be boring to make progress.
Yeah, ask them. They might turn around and say, because you're not good enough at the skill yet to progress, so we're going to keep doing the same thing until you can graduate from that.
Equally, if they never change a plan, they're probably a bad PT.
Yeah, but I think Ryan Jewers is probably my number one. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. Always answers my questions when I have any as well.
I was going to say, about the evolution of the industry. I would say that overall, the industry's positive. And
I agree.
And I think that things are improving. I think more and more people get into fitness. I think it's great to see, as a gym owner, walking around the gym floor and having so many conversations with people about training. I cannot remember a time in my life where I've known so many people to have so many questions and be so curious, and I just think that's really cool.
Yeah, I had some random kid come up to me the other day and ask me questions about why I was doing a certain movement. Love it. Love that shit. I've never spoken to this kid. I've never even seen him before. It's so nice to see people feeling comfortable enough and confident enough to just ask a question and just berate it. Like, I love it when people have questions. They just ask.
Yeah.
I love it because it's like, well, it tests you. If you don't know, you get to know, and also makes you. It almost validates you a bit, saying, "I feel like I can help someone here," which is really nice, fulfilling.
One thing I will say that I have noticed in my many years being an older person is that the ratio of men to women in the weights room is like the best it's ever been.
A lot more women are getting into resistance. Yeah, like it's fantastic.
Essentially, in the olden days when you and I were at our previous gym, Pulsate,
no women.
How many females did you see in that weights room? It was such a threatening place.
Yeah, 100%.
When I worked for Gym Group, like 2009 onwards, like it was like the gym ratio was something like 75% male, and now with East Park, for example, we're sitting at like 57% male.
That's amazing.
And because our gym is predominantly free weights and machines as well, it means that all those women that are training there are also lifting weights just in amongst it with everyone else.
I've said it so many times before, but regardless of goals and regardless of gender, resistance training has such a place. It's so good.
That's been the biggest change, I think, in the fitness industry.
The push towards the importance of resistance training. And like I said, it's just kind of what Chris said. It's great to see more women stepping away from that idea that lifting weights makes you too big and too bulky, and realising actually it's probably going to really help you achieve your goals.
Yeah, massively. And that education is incredible, definitely.
Oh, I love it. And to be honest, it's partly why I've got a platform on YouTube, because so many women are now interested in resistance training. Whereas, do you mean like beforehand it probably wasn't as popular, and now it's becoming more popular. People are now hungry for information they want to learn, and then you have an opportunity to speak to them.
We've turned that corner, haven't we, where we understand it now.
Yeah.
So, and everyone understands and appreciates it. So now people want to know, and I think it's great to have so many people interested in it.
Yeah, it's 10 out of 10. Love it.
Good stuff. Good chat. That's good topic number 1 done. I'm happy about that.
Number 2.
Segue. What's number 2?
Our journey. So this was actually asked. Let me get the question up, because it was actually a question from the old Instagram machine.
Oh, goodness.
Wait, why are you trying to scrap? What were you drinking?
Chris cracking a can open. What you got, Chris?
Got a can of Stella. No, it's actually...
oh my God, what flavour is that?
Grape. Grape Fanta.
If it's not fruit twist, I don't want it.
Fruit twist is nice, actually. I do like grape, though.
Grape.
Grape's good.
Oh.
When I go to the cinema, you can get you go to the machine and you can have whatever drink you want.
It's a whirlwind of choices.
Yeah.
I'm a mixer. I mix things up.
No.
I hate people like you. I really do.
So
you want to see the world burn.
Do you want my recipe? I'll give you my recipe.
I will be sick.
I've got my question ready.
For the ultimate cinema drink.
I want to hear this cinema drink, because I go to the cinema about a million times a week.
It's 50% cherry vanilla Coke Zero. Then it's 25%...
I've been sick in my mouth.
25% peach Fanta.
I hope you're measuring out exact millilitres here.
And then 25% cherry Fanta, just for even more cherry.
You ever been to therapy, Chris?
I probably need to.
Might be
Are
worth
you indecisive kind of person?
I just like the twang of a Coca-Cola with a fruit twist.
I like the spiciness of a... I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not going to lie. I'm a Diet Coke guy.
Just mix your Diet Coke at the cinema with some other little just hints of things. You can pop a bit of something in there.
I'm going to go see Doctor Strange. I'm going to do that.
I'm going to go see Doctor Strange
out yet?
Nah, not yet. Soon.
It's
Next
May
week,
the 6th. May the 6th.
Pop it, training there. You're laughing.
Oh shit! I need to book that.
I still haven't seen Batman.
Should we go? We should do a pod night out.
We're doing a
cinema trip. Can we go see
Yeah.
Doctor Strange together, all of us?
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
fine.
Don't say probably. You're the one who's been nagging us. Where are we all going to hang out?
Yeah,
I'm trying.
But cinema isn't hanging out.
Yeah, it means I don't have to speak. I speak to you enough.
Hanging out. No, I tell you what we should do. We should go
I'm gonna punch you.
bowling.
I've actually retired from bowling.
Well, because you're too fucking good. You grade 6 bowler.
Travis, the last time I played, I got 6 strikes in one game. 190 points on the old scoreboard.
I'm not very good at bowling.
I'm awful. Even Breach was there like, what the fuck's happened to you? I said, Breach, I'll tell you now, drug test me, see what happens. Bang! Honestly, I
don't think we should drug test you, to be honest.
I've never performed so well in my life. And I just, after that, I was there like, I'm done. I'm never going to do this.
You can never eclipse that.
So if when you go to gyms, imagine if someone said to you in the gym, you did the best squat of your life, and you said you're never going to squat this much again. Everything's going to be downhill from there. You say, I'm probably going to stop squatting. I'll quit while I'm ahead. That's how I feel with bowling. Honestly, because it's just trash now. I know I'd be awful because I'm actually not very good. It's just that one day I was the stars.
Well, we need. I think an activity that is YouTubeable would be quite good.
Nearly did a Chris and bought my own bowling ball. I was
level 6 bowling ball.
Just for the record, I don't own a bowling ball.
Yeah, but when we go bowling, he will have one.
He will have one. He'll have his shoes.
Pump Fiction.
He'll have a
bowling
glove.
Yeah.
Have you seen the film Kingpin? Bill Murray.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Bill Murray, the bowling one.
Yeah.
Watch it. You will like it.
What's the other one that's bowling?
Oh, I can't. Big Lebowski.
That's the one.
Yes.
But
Don't fuck with the Jesus.
Yeah. That's
thinking to
great.
ourselves is,
Great
did
film.
they get 5 of those strikes in a row? Can I 5 of them in a row? Imagine just strike. Honestly, I was just sat there like, boys, I felt sick.
Okay, I'm calling Ronnie.
Never get over that.
2.
All right.
Subject 2.
So our journey, I think the athletical pro, he actually goes to my gym in Slough. Nice guy. A little backstory of your journey into fitness. Also, a little backstory of your journey into fitness and progress over the years.
Oof. Wow.
How long you got?
Okay.
I feel like we need to put a limit on this because
Expedite
we could waffle for years.
Who's going first?
Mike.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Yes, Michael, let's go.
Eyes on you,
Why?
pappy.
Okay, ask me some questions. I'll answer them. That might be the easiest way
That's
to do
a good
it.
shout, actually.
Okay. What was the first sporty thing you did, and how old were you?
Egg and spoon race.
Against Spirit. No, I did athletics at school. I did not like the idea of performing in front of others because I was very anxious. I then ended up playing something really weird happened actually. I started playing for the football team at secondary school and then ended up going to college, gifted and talented, on the football team. And I've been playing football for a year. I was like, I don't think either the team was really bad or I was really good, so I'm not quite sure.
Gifted and talented meant very different things at our schools. That's all I'm going to say.
Did you get the special scissors that you couldn't cut yourself with them?
Gifted and talented at our school meant you had learning difficulties.
No, it was the complete opposite of my school. It was
Okay, so fast forward. When did that kind of materialize into a gym world?
When did you get massive?
Oh, because you did a degree in sports management.
I did health and fitness management, which ironically,
guess what he does now.
Guess what I do now? I actually did that degree because I had no idea what I wanted to do at uni. I just the classic. I need to go to uni because all my friends were going to uni. I didn't want to be the one person that didn't go to uni. I had no interest at college. I went to my tutor and just said, what can I do? And he said, do you want to be a teacher? I went, don't really like kids. He was like, well, do you want to be a coach? I was like, I'm not really good at any sports. He was like, do you want to go into the fitness industry? I was like, that sounds great. And that's how I ended up doing that degree. And actually, by the end of my 3 years, I actually loved the fitness industry. And then it kind of all just...
I think a lot of people get into the fitness industry because they don't really know what else to do.
Well, I've always said for coaches that it's like becoming a personal trainer is like getting a summer job. People just think, oh, it's easy. I like training. I'll just become a personal trainer. It's like, no, you can't just become a personal trainer. It doesn't work like that. Not everyone should be a coach. Just saying.
I agree.
We have said that before.
Yeah. Next question.
Yeah, I mean, fitness-wise, obviously you persevered with training yourself and...
Yeah, I think it was more just to keep up appearances because I worked in gyms and you just feel kind of obliged to kind of keep yourself accountable.
Are you in a routine with training now?
I am.
You don't look... I'll be honest, you don't look... You have a nice body.
Oh, thank you.
Love's
Wow.
in the air.
But,
Wow,
but-
that's a compliment.
but Harry, do you know what I'm
Love's
saying?
in
He
the
doesn't
air.
look like someone who doesn't train.
Yeah, no, he's in good shape.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think-
So therefore, my question is, obviously, you train.
Yeah.
How regimented is that? And
I'd say it's definitely the most structured it's been in the last year, in the last probably like month or two, and that's made me feel really good. I'd probably say the reason why I've maintained like an okay physique is because I've learned what like the minimal effective volume is for me.
Yeah.
Like I know my body so well. I'm like, I know what I can get away with doing just to keep things ticking over. Having said that, then it means that I don't really ever push myself, which is something that I'm trying to do this year.
do we need to give you a goal to work towards?
I think, yeah. Shame me into accountability.
Let's do a Pump Fiction photo shoot.
I knew he was going to say
Oh,
photo shoot. I
goodness.
was sat there.
Oh,
This is
good
photo
God.
shoot. I'm not
Okay.
getting my baps out for anyone, just want to clarify.
No, please.
You're going to step on stage, you clown.
Yeah, and I'll get my baps out.
And you wear
then.
a stringer and you get your baps out then
I don't wear a string. I
sometimes.
wear a vest sometimes, and I get my tits out when I'm feeling particularly naughty.
What's the point in you razoring your body all the time if no one's going to fucking see it? You
Because
idiot?
if God forbid the world comes to an end, they say, Harry, there's fire coming down behind you. This is an emergency.
You're going to have to flex immediately.
No, and then they say there's a water slide in front of you, but you need to get A from B as fast as you possibly can.
Like that Barclays advert.
I'm
and that
literally,
guy on
I'm
the
so
slide.
aerodynamic and boom, straight down that saved my own
You'll
life.
pull a hamstring by the time you get up to any kind of top speed.
So it's like, I don't know about you, but I am just speed in general. I don't have the only speed I have is top.
Is
So I'm just
speed ball.
My acceleration is there.
All right, fine.
Right, okay, well, that's good. We've
There we go.
completed
And
Michael.
That's me.
Who's up?
Harold.
Chris. Oh, okay. I was going to say crisp. Okay, we can do this.
What was your first sporting foray?
Cross country running.
Interesting.
Used to be a long
How old were
distance
you when
runner.
you started that?
Probably 13, 12.
And you
12.
did it until...
I want to say
Yesterday.
15, maybe 15.
Okay.
About that? Yeah, about 15.
And is that when you started going to the gym?
About 16? I went to the gym.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm really skinny. I think I weighed like 57
That's
kilos.
why I started training.
Literally,
I was like, I hate my body.
Imagine being tall and 57 kilos or something at 16
Yeah.
years old.
I was 6 foot and I was something like, 57 kilos. I was
Yeah.
like, why don't the girls like me?
And I was there like, I wonder if I'll appeal to more women. Update: I appeal to a lot of men, and that's it.
That's still cool though.
Yeah, I mean, it's like personally,
Love that for you.
I don't swing that way myself, but it's great to have the validation, and I respect that they are interested, and I very much
Yeah, no,
appreciate the
it's
compliments that they do pay me sometimes. But I just the other day on that is I don't appeal to more women. Still scared of speaking to women, but can do a pretty effective iliac pull down if I need to. That's all I'll say, guys. That's all I'll say.
You're filling up Instagram.
Obviously, I'm about to go viral because of that clip.
So why did you get into powerlifting then?
Because I was actually not that weak. I used to.
So you kind of took to the low rep kind of strong
I
stuff.
started benching a lot, and I was there like started
Of course,
benching
the
more.
classic bench.
Literally, I went from failing the barbell at 16 years old. Literally dropped it on my head. Tried to go to the dumbbells, but the dumbbells only went down to 10 kilos. We didn't have any lighter dumbbells at this gym, so I had to resort to doing push-ups and force reps until I could bench the bar on my own.
You're Captain America.
Literally, and then within
Oh my
from
god!
failing the barbell to benching 100 kilos took me just under a year. I managed to bench 100 kilos a day before my 17th birthday.
Yep, you're skinny Captain America, come big Captain America. That's where you are.
And then it actually didn't really, my bench didn't actually improve for a few years because I didn't eat any food. And I was just like, why is my body weight not going up? Because I literally was eating 1,500 calories a day. And then started eating and my bench shot up again.
I wasted so many of my kind of
so many
years.
Literally
beginning.
so many of my
I
years were
got so
wasted.
strong.
From like, I want to say 17 till 22 to us, I just absolutely panned.
I used to just go out too much. I was going out 3 times a week. I worked for a nightclub. I was an idiot. I didn't know what I was doing.
Hey, Bez with the boys. All that.
I was in Zorba's. Fucking. I'll have another kebab.
I've never actually had a kebab in my life.
Oh my god!
I've had a.
I'm not going to sit here and say you must, but you know.
I've been to Greece. No, I'm not going to do it. Don't even say it. I'm not having it.
I'll do the show.
You told me that people really enjoyed the milk
If
thing.
you-
Oh my god!
So I'm going to bring.
Okay, update. I have had a kebab in Greece, a proper kebab.
No, I want you to relive mine and Mike's.
Yeah.
Jonathan, I'll tell you now, you bring a doner kebab in, that shit's going out there, so I hope East Park got a good clean-up crew, because that shit's going to land on some woman's head. I'm so sorry.
I think, okay,
that's not optimal for hypertrophy.
I assume that a few of our listeners have had a doner kebab. If you think Harry should have a doner kebab, please tell us. If we get 10 people saying that Harry has to have a doner kebab...
I'm still going to say no, because I don't give in to peer pressure, nor should you. Yeah, Mikey. You've heard my
garlic mayonnaise. Let's do this.
Oh, that's horrendous. Hate mayo. You know
Mate,
what happens when I'm on the
when
toilet.
you're like 15 like vodka shots deep, you don't care.
You
at
honestly
that point.
don't care. Yeah.
I haven't
It tastes
sipped
fantastic.
alcohol since I was 19 years old.
Oh my god.
The 9th of February was when I did it last.
You teetotal?
2013, 9th of February.
I don't think through 2011 I was even sober at all.
I'm not saying I haven't done other stuff. I'm just saying I haven't drunk
No, I'm
alcohol
just-
since 2013.
I'm just saying, I just don't think I was sober.
Okay,
Oh my
so where are we at now? Have we done you or?
I've asked him when he did powerlifting.
Oh yeah, and now you've transitioned again.
Oh yeah, and now you're doing another thing.
But
Now
yeah,
you're a bodybuilder.
so this is what happened. I went to the gym. So I want to be like Arnie. So I got into bodybuilding.
Classic.
Didn't do shit. Then got into MMA first. Did that for a while.
So it makes me
3
laugh whenever I think of you
Yeah.
doing MMA.
I can imagine him in his leggings and this hoodie just rolling around.
All I'm saying, man's 6'3", I can kick my own head. That height.
You're a lover, not a fighter. At the end
Yeah,
of the day.
I'm not a violent man. I don't like violence. But if you throw hands with me, I'll probably absolutely slap you on Call of Duty because my KD's better than yours. Then I went from MMA
Yeah, do you want to fight? Yeah, okay, I'll fight.
Load up Warzone,
All right,
see what happens.
let's go home. You go to your house, go to mine. Load up your
fairness-
computer. Yeah. Load
In
up your... What
fairness-
graphics card have you got? What graphics card?
Probably not as good as mine, just saying. In fairness, I actually had a dream that you and I played Warzone last night, and it was me, you, and 2 other people, and we all dropped over 20 kills in Rebirth.
I'm so glad I'm not involved in that.
That
and we
sounds
were bummed.
amazing.
It was a best dream. I woke up, I was nearly cried. Funny story.
I am crying.
I actually, this is very off topic. I'll go back to where I was going with this, but I had a dream once. I'll never forget this. I've had 2 dreams I will never forget. Remember Spy Kids 3, like 3D? You know the girl with black hair in there? When I was like a kid, I watched that movie and I had a dream she was my girlfriend. I woke up, she wasn't. I cried. Then after that, I had a dream that I had a pet Pikachu. Woke up, wasn't pet Pikachu. Cried.
That would actually make me sad.
Yeah.
To be fair.
If Martin Luther King had started that way, I had a dream.
I did have a dream. But yeah, so I went from MMA from MMA to powerlifting, which is why I sacked off MMA, because I was like, actually, I'm going to start eating more and getting bigger. I'd weighed the same for years now. I was like, let's bulk up and start getting stronger. Went over to powerlifting. Then after that, I was like, did the comp. Was going to go for another comp. And then after the first comp, just motivation panned. I did like an inter-club one, then I did like an actual one.
Do you think that's relating back to what you said earlier about you kind of had a bit of a toxic experience?
I think so, because I think there's a few things that contributed to me dipping from it. Is obviously, again, I've met some amazing people through powerlifting. Some of my closer friends are because of powerlifting. Like my friend Josh, who I'm training with the weekend, like all because of powerlifting. But I've also met some absolute arseholes through powerlifting that kind of gave me a bit of a sour taste for the sport, especially in the younger generation. Like I said, older into the open, fantastic. But also because I think my mental health was such a shambles. I was hammering so many prescription drugs, be that for recreational purposes or like, I guess, prescription purposes. I think I very heavily associated powerlifting with just a really bad mental state and just period of my life. And then after the competition, I was I loved it. When I actually competed, such a buzz, so good. I was heavily medicated, can't remember half of it, off my nut on benzos and shit. But I really enjoyed it. I made some good memories, good friends. Then after that, it just panned. I had horrendous post comp blues, and I just felt like shit because I felt a lot weaker because I think you've been peaking for 12 weeks, or whatever.
Your body's just gone nope.
And then I just felt like I couldn't lift anything, and that because of that, my motivation never really came back. And then I tried for like 2 or 3 months just to get it back, and I'll just drag myself to the gym, hating it, not hitting the numbers I wanted to hit. I said, you know what, let's sack off the comp I was going to do. I think I competed in November. I was going to do a comp in April. I said, let's sack off and do a hypertrophy block with my coach. He said, fine. I was like, you know, fuck it. This is actually
when
better.
was that?
My comp was November 2018. Then I sacked off powerlifting in February 2019. And then said hypertrophy block and then did that. And then still kind of stuck to powerlifting for probably near about a year after that. I didn't really shift over towards bodybuilding until probably about October 2019, and because I come off all my meds at this point, And then I got a new coach who's also my current coach. And then I was like, you know what? This is so much nicer. Like my body hurts a lot less because I obviously jacked up back. And I felt just a lot less pressure. Obviously, I was going to go in and hit my numbers I needed to hit. But back then in powerlifting, if I didn't squat to my 5 plates for 5, I felt like a failure and would probably go home and cry.
It's a lot more objective, isn't it?
I felt so horrendous. But at least I can go and say, this time, if I don't hit my numbers, it's a bad day. Probably didn't sleep enough. But I guarantee I'll probably hit them next week, and I am in control of those variables. Back then, I think I just too much pressure on myself. And I will return to it. I have numbers I want to hit. I want to go to 800, which is what I always said. But I don't think I'm ready yet.
No. With that, ultimately, your goal now as a bodybuilder is to get bigger. So therefore, part of that requirement will mean getting stronger.
Yeah. Well,
so therefore, the fact that you're focusing on a mass phase will mean that your power will increase naturally.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think a lot of people, because this is what we came down to before about speaking the importance of like how learning to squat, bench, and deadlift really well can carry you forward. Like my first time bench pressing in a long time at probably about 7 kilos lighter than, or even more than that, than I did when I did the 4 plates. I still got 3 plates. First time benching for months, if not 6 months or so, I still got 3 plates for 8. When my best ever when I was 7 to 10 kilos heavier was 3 plates for 10.
Yeah.
So realistically, it never
you retain
really
it,
left.
Don't you? I'm the same. Like you could put 140 on a bar and I'll be able to deadlift it at any point, even if I've not done it.
But then first time you ever lifted, you barely do 60, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the thing is, because not only have you nailed the pattern, but also just because you don't do a movement doesn't mean you're not strong. Like if I don't bench, I'm still working my pecs, my triceps, and my shoulders, doing other movements. They're getting stronger.
Yeah,
I just need to get better to essentially get my bench up.
It's a technique.
Yeah, I just need to get familiar with benching.
You move away from isolation and you go to integration.
Yeah,
just literally integrate all those muscles to do that movement. Yeah,
it's like driving an automatic car. You know how to drive, then you go back to a manual. You just give it a week, you probably nail it again.
Yeah, it's true.
Hello, hi Chris. Let me turn this around and look at you now. So,
are you going to talk to me now?
Yeah. Hello. So.
How did I get into it?
Where did you begin?
Did you do any sports as a kid?
So I played
all of them.
I played a lot of sports.
Level 6, everything.
I would honestly say I was pretty average at all sports when I was younger.
That's probably why you go into the gym then.
Basically,
that's true. No, I'm the same.
I always tried very hard. I was never like in a top team, but I was never in a shit team. I was always very middle ground. And I played a lot of tennis, and my first job was a tennis coach.
That's cool.
So
that's cool.
I've never had a job interview in my life. I was asked to become a tennis coach because I used to play a tennis a lot. So I became a tennis coach at like 16 up until I was like 18, 19. And then after that, and then whilst that was happening, music was a big part of my life.
Of course, yeah.
So I was in a band for like over 10 years touring.
What was the band called?
We were called Rebus. Oh. And I'm actually going to show you. And so the gym and all that stuff didn't exist to me. Like tennis stopped. The minute I became a tennis coach, I stopped playing it socially. I didn't enjoy tennis.
That's quite common, I think.
That happens in the fitness industry. As soon as
massively.
people become coaches, they're just like, oh man, I don't like training.
So I stopped playing it socially, and I never played it again once I stopped coaching as well. But obviously music was everything. So this is what I looked like in the band.
It's the long hair and the
my God,
pashmina scarf.
I'm going to go with Mike first. So Mike, there we go. And coming around to Harry, there we go.
I literally, when you said that, I was thinking long hair, pashmina scarf. Frankie, what's his name from X Factor? Frankie Kokoza.
Oh yeah. I was going to say you look like something like Fall Out Boy.
I'll send, if you want, I'll send it over so you can put it on the YouTube.
I thought maybe like Fall Out Boy.
So basically, I had big hair. Just for anyone listening, big hair.
I'm right.
I had a little mini scarf and everything. Straightening hair was quite big back then as well.
This is the big fringe too.
This is like mid to early 2000s, basically.
Oh my God, that's like peak emo almost.
Yeah, it wasn't so much emo.
Frankie Koza.
Exactly. Everyone had long hair. Long hair was the thing.
Yeah. I had long hair as well.
Yeah,
so I can't really find
everyone had like men's hair straighteners was big. So yeah, there you go.
I didn't straighten my hair, but I did have long hair.
Anyway, so gym wasn't a thing for me at all. I used to drink constantly. I was touring.
Love it.
Festivals, played on the radio. I used to sign autographs. and
popular.
yeah, exactly. Good
friends.
I do miss music. It was great. But then that stopped. I became a DJ and a club promoter, which was good. But then I started getting into the gym. I found I think my ex at the time was wanted to go to the gym. I was like, all right, I'll come with you. I'd started doing some half marathons because I lived in Reading. So I did running and swimming, and then I started lifting weights at the gym, and I was like, oh, this is quite good. I started doing machines.
DOMs.
Free weights, wouldn't touch free weights, only did the machines.
Yeah, scared of them, still am.
Yeah, so and a friend of mine was seeing that I was enjoying it. He was like, you should try the free weights. So I was like, okay, I'll give the free weights a try.
I love that, the free weights.
Yeah, I know, right? And then another guy was like, oh, what protein are you taking or having? I was like, I don't know, what's that? And then you should try my protein's good. I was like, okay, my protein's good. It's not good anymore. But
well, that's that sponsorship gone.
Wow, see you in a bit, boys.
I honestly don't think. I mean, it's cheap, but I mean, it might be better. But I think it was pretty average, wasn't it? Let's be honest. My protein.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Also, it's also not as cheap as you remember it being. I'll tell you. Have you seen it now? I think a 5 kilo tub of protein back in the day was like £60. It's over £100 now.
Oh my god,
shit's expensive. I was like, whoa.
Well.
So anyway, I progressed with that, and then my now missus, got into the gym as well, and because it was when I met her, she was the first person I'd ever met, female-wise, who had protein. She had whey protein. She's the one.
Does she know that's a steroid? You should tell her.
With the creatine.
Anyway, she'd been following someone called Michelle Brannan, who was who was like our only IFBB pro female bikini person. And so she went to one of her first ever set workshops, and then came back and declared that she wanted to do this. And this was before female bodybuilding was getting big, really. So, and she was like, okay, I'm going to do this Miami Pro competition, but if I'm going to do it, you're going to do it. I was like, okay. So I need to go and find. I was lifting weights at this point and getting into it, but I was pretty skinny. I can show you what I looked like when I was tiny. And I was like, I needed a coach. So I found this guy, Ryan John Baptiste, who was running a gym in Bracknell.
Which gym? Body Zone?
No, it was a kids gym. It was called, cool. It was specifically for, they had even children's resistance machines and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't remember what it was called now, but it was like a chain, I think. He was running he was running a franchise of this chain. And he was a competitor as well. He was doing WBFF.
Oh, the glory days, yeah.
Yeah, and so I approached him and basically said, I want to do Miami Pro in 6 months' time. Here's a load of money. Be my coach. Get me there. And he did. And we became friends through that. And he's one of my best mates. And that was it. Becoming friends with Ryan was the catalyst for where I am now, essentially. He taught me everything I know about bodybuilding and the basics, really, with nutrition and all that sort of stuff. And then I pursued that and trained on and learned more and so on and so forth, and did loads of competitions. Got beaten by a load of people who took drugs when I didn't, and it was very frustrating, but I carried on just because I wanted to be better. But yeah, it all roots back to the fact that I just wanted to make myself, I was always pretty average, and I always wanted to be better. So that was, the gym was my vehicle. And as you say, that was probably why I got into the gym, was because I was never at the top of anything, really.
Sounds like all of us.
I was the same.
Yeah.
I was in top sets for things. I was a smart kid, but I was under the radar of everything.
Oh yeah, I was in all the top sets for brain-based stuff. Very, very top of my class in pretty much most things, but physically I was average, and that affected me.
Same with me with cross country. I was pretty very average with that, and I didn't do any other sports because I was too scared to do sports because of anxiety.
I remember my school, just before I left my secondary school, we got a proper gym, and it was the first time I was in a proper gym, and I hated it. I just was terrified. I used to skip. I'd just go sit on the stairs. I
still do now.
So I can't be asked. So I was kind of the same as you, Chris. I wanted to be really good at something, and I think even now, as a businessman, that's kind of where my angle is. It's something now I'm good at, and now I'm addicted to it.
That's good.
I love it.
Yeah. I was really good at triple jump.
I was good at long jump.
Is it?
Yeah.
Naughty. You can jump. That's why my
and 100 meters.
Oh,
quite
no,
good
I
at
was
that as
really
well.
good at that. I'll
race you. We should have a race sometime. That'll be fun. Up the driveway.
Give me a 20-minute warm-up because I'll break. Last question for Chris. What is your biggest... Do you have any regrets regarding your fitness journey? Like, what's one thing you regret about your journey?
Because you've done a lot in a short space of time, because you said you started quite late, didn't you?
Yeah, I started lifting weights when I was about 26, 27. I'm now 37. So regret-wise, I would have liked to have started younger, but obviously my music was my life, so I guess I don't regret that. I'm happy with where, obviously I'm approaching 40 and I feel like I'm in the best shape I've ever been in.
That's good, yeah.
So I can
trending up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm improving, and now I'm finding new challenges, but whilst maintaining the previous ones I started. So I've actually reduced the amount of weightlifting I do, because obviously I've started climbing and running. I don't know if I'll stick with the running, because I just feel like I don't want. I'm not a runner, but
you're gonna have to sell your sunnies now, aren't you? For
There's level 4 sunnies.
Guys, you just got those bloody sunnies.
I don't know, but the climbing I definitely love. But I've realised that I don't have to train 6 days a week. I can train 4 days a week and still maintain this body that I've created. But regret-wise, I'll be honest. Do you want me to be brutally honest?
Please, always. This is a safe space. My
brutally honest response to regrets is I should have taken drugs.
Yeah, fair enough. I respect the honesty.
I'm a competitive person. Every competition I ever entered, and I've probably done about 8 or 9, maybe about that, about 8. I turned up to win, and in most cases I knew I didn't stand a chance because everyone was bigger than me or better than me. And looking back, I probably, if I was serious about it, I probably should have just taken stuff. I mean, do I regret? I guess I regret that from a perspective of winning things, because I'm a competitive perspective. In my mind, I'm a winner. I want to be the best at things. I want this podcast to be the best.
Which already is.
We're on the way, boys.
And so from that perspective, I'd love to have more trophies. But then I got to live that through my missus, Anastasia Parakos, if you want to look her up. She's a PT, but she's also probably we've got about 12 or 14, 15 trophies at home from competitions, and I prepped her for those comps. So honestly, it's a lot harder watching someone else compete that you care about, because it's easy when you're up on stage and you're in control of it. But if you're a coach or 100%, or if it's someone you care about, like when you see them placing second, when everyone in that room mostly knows that they should have been first, but one of the head judges is the coach of the person who came
There's
first.
a lot of politics involved in
bodybuilding. Oh God,
yeah. That's why I'm saying to you, it would have made a very good TV show, because there was so much corrupt. There is, I don't know if there still is, but I remember doing a show in Prague where basically you would get UK athletes who would get the coach who they knew was going to be a judge on that panel, and they would hire that coach well in advance, and he would prep them for the show knowing exactly what they would be looking for.
My friend who coaches for a lot of PCA athletes is also a judge in a lot of PCA shows.
Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so regret wise, maybe if I was serious about winning, I probably should have taken drugs. But then having said that, I'm quite happy with the body I have now. It's just taken me 10 years to get it naturally.
Yeah. Well, spoiler alert to a lot of the newbies listening to this. Shit takes time. Shit takes a lot of time. I can't remember his name. Andreas something. He used to be one of the best powerlifters in the world. Mutant man. Didn't speak a word of English, really. But he was I think, arguably actually the best powerlifter in the world at a given point. And someone said to him, what's the secret to getting strong? He just said, I've lifted weights for 20 years. That's literally it. He goes, I've lifted heavy for 20 years. That's literally it.
You're going to get good at something you've done for 20 years, aren't you?
You add 5 kilos for 20 years, that shit's going to add up. Do you know what I mean? Same with bodybuilding. To get
marginal gains.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Shit takes time.
Yes. But quickly before we move on, regrets for you two, seeing as you asked the question.
God. Starting.
Even getting involved. Regrets. Jesus.
Just minimal ones.
I'd probably say I probably regretted not having a goal, because I think I did spend a lot of my time kind of just maintaining, because I was happy where I was, but I wanted to go for more. But I have to say, I think my own kind of internal monologue of just like, but what if you fail, just took over too often, and then I kind of leveraged business too much. But I say that's probably my only regret, that I didn't use my glory years more to achieve more just for myself. But I
respect that. I think my biggest regret is probably especially in my earlier years when I wasn't really going anywhere with it, allowing it to consume my life to the point where it took away from everything else, hindered relationships, prevented me from socializing. I sacked off so many social events and like ruined relationships with friends or girlfriends at the time because I just wanted to train, and I wasn't even training very well. It was wasted. Now I'm training more effectively. Granted, I still probably have a unhealthy balance with training and socializing, but it's better than it was, and I'm achieving more from it.
I don't know, I see you quite a lot.
Oh, there you go. Because they're all one friend, two friends.
At the gym.
At the gym.
At the gym when you're training, and I'm trying to interrupt you.
I like it. It means I've got someone to talk to. But yeah, I say my biggest regret is probably allowing it to hinder my life rather than enhance it for much of my life.
I did that for many years, especially the competitive ones. But then it just takes time. I think anyone who's throwing themselves headfirst into any sport or any new foray or in life, you're going to get tunnel vision, and you're going to give it everything, and you might end up turning things down that you probably shouldn't. But
I did that with the I wanted to pursue the military route, but I sacked it off because I didn't want to put my gains to waste. Didn't want to lose the gains I made, so I didn't pursue the military anymore, which is a shame.
But then saying that, like, I'm the opposite end of the spectrum to both of you. I wish I had done more and taken it more seriously and tried harder, and I think it's pretty cool that you guys gave it a go.
I think you always wish what you didn't do.
Of course.
We wish you
wish
us, sort of thing.
Someone asked me if I would compete again the other day, actually, and I was just said, yeah, probably will.
Better get the trend ready, boys. Never too late to start.
So maybe I think maybe before I'm 40, I'm 38 this year. So I might maybe next year.
Team prep.
But I will probably have to take drugs for it, to be honest. So we'll see how that goes. And if I do, we'll talk about it on this show.
You would be open and honest.
I'm quite happy to talk. I'm quite happy to talk about that process. But yes, a long way off. Yeah, I'm still just doing my own thing at the moment.
Go do what's best for you.
Absolutely right. I think that just about sums up that topic.
So.
Yes.
Yeah, fine. We're gonna move on now. Good chat. It's nice to get to know everyone quite well, I think.
Oh god, I like it over.
I'm getting to know myself.
Oh, that's deep. Oh,
I know, right? I'm sat here thinking, hang on a minute, I've got some plans I need to put in place.
Thanks.
I'm going to throw in before we move on to the next subject.
Go on.
Side sub.
My phone's down my pants.
Little side swipe.
It's not your phone.
Whilst we're still talking about protein sources and good value protein sources and ways to get more protein into your food, one that I'm enjoying a lot at the moment. It's pretty basic. It's very basic, in fact. It is Leerdammer light cheese.
Interesting. I'm listening. I do like cheese.
So a lot of people think you shouldn't have cheese when you're like prepping or dieting or whatever. But honestly, the macros of Leerdammer light are solid, mate. They are solid. They're like 3 grams. It's like per slice, it's like 6 grams of protein per slice, 3 grams of fat per slice, and like hardly any carbs.
Oh, is that why they don't say it's good? Because it's the macronutrient breakdown's not so good. But I love cheese.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm every morning I'm having eggs with Leerdammer light on, and I'm loving life. And I add it to all sorts.
Do you track still the calories?
No, because like I said earlier, because I've done it I've tracked so many years of prep. If I'm prepping for something, then yes, I will track, because it's all about optimization and marginal gains and so on, and getting the most out of it while still making progress. But right now, I can diet or I can gain quite intuitively, I guess, because cool. I could probably tell you roughly how many carbs I've already had today and roughly how much fat I've had.
I have no idea.
I can easily look at a portion of food and just break it down in my head quite quickly. So yeah, I'm okay with it. But yeah, I quite like Leerdammer light cheese, and also low total zero yogurt. I put on instead of using mayonnaise, I use Greek yogurt, zero Greek yogurt instead of mayonnaise. I
feel like we're in some weird Twilight Zone.
You two hate me, don't you? But but the thing is, that's what I do, because when I'm dieting, I I do little simple switches in order to
that's smart.
to
It's
make
good to
it
have a
work.
strategy. It's good to have a
still
strategy.
and still enjoy most normal foods. Really,
He's angrily crossing something out now.
No, I'm marking off the things we've done on my list,
Oh,
so I don't
yeah.
go back to repeating that
He's
one.
written.
Right,
He's
okay.
written cheese and just crossed it out.
Okay, topic number 3.
Lactose intolerance.
Is that topic number 3? Lactose intolerance?
No, don't, because I've got that.
Say why you piping up about cheese.
I
love cheese.
have-
You
That's
poo
what I
your
mean. I
pants.
love cheese, and I poo my
No,
pants
but
all
I
the
have.
time.
I think I'm probably lactose intolerant, but I don't think all cheese is.
Do you know what's given me lactose intolerance? It was years of having gainer shakes, and I used to get mutant mass, which was basically a shovel.
Oh my lord!
And it-
I used to love it. I
Mutant
hated
mass
it.
chocolate. I bought
Oh my
the
god!
blender from home. I said, Mum, I'm taking this to work. I need it for my protein shakes. And I got it sent to work. I ordered it from like Dolphin Fitness or something. It came in like a £10 bag or something.
And
Do you remember the big
rest.
tubs? The big tubs, sort of
It
like
came
that.
in a shiny red foil
USN
bag.
tub with the
Yeah.
bucket.
Oh my god, that was me.
That's the
Muscle
Expo.
fueled.
He's
Yeah.
the guy-
Muscle fueled anabolic.
The
That
guy
was
at
the
the
guy that would
Expo.
pay full price for
Someone
it.
told me that shit was actually anabolic, so I took it.
GF1, USN IGF1.
I actually
I
took
use
an
muscle.
IGF-1 supplement. BioGrow.
But
got
they
banned.
put that name on it just to make people think it was like growth.
Well, it got banned. It got marked as a banned substance.
It had
bad.
the muscle fuel anabolic has so much sugar in it. Anyway,
so did mutant mass. It was all shit.
no, mutant mass came with a shovel. And you would look at it, you'd be like, £10, that would last me ages. And you look at a serving size, you're like, oh man, there's only like 20 servings in this £10 bag. I used to put it in the blender. I'd then add milk, because obviously gains, Arnie, milks
same,
and squats.
yeah.
How are you not massive?
Oh, because it entered my
Inflate
body as
one
quick.
or the other.
It left my body as quick as it entered. I switched it on, and it would just go, and I was like, oh, that's not good. And then it would be like one protein cup. Oh, another protein cup. So I'm sat there in the staff room. I've got a 5-minute break. I've got to neck this.
Horrendous.
You could build a house with this stuff. You could put bricks
Cement.
together, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And that is why I'm lactose intolerant.
I'm actually gonna have to join you on a mutant mass story. Is that I hated it. It made me sick.
Yeah,
but I used
so
to have,
sweet.
I used to take some. It was so thick. If you put the recommended 4 scoops in,
with the
you
milk.
had to chew it. So all I did is I used to have it with water. So I mixed 2 scoops with water. Then I add more water. Then I couldn't put 3 scoops in at once. It wouldn't work. I had to go 2, mix, third one in, mix.
Yeah,
and I used to have that
more milk.
when I was working at Waitrose. I used to have my shakes in there, and I used to hammer it in seconds. And then I'd sit there and just be like, I'm actually going to be sick.
That is why I sip my protein drinks now. It's a habitual thing where I'm just like there going like, oh, mutant mass memories.
I literally sat. I remember one time I was on the shop floor. It was like, I think we closed at 9. It was 8 o'clock. I just come off break, hammering my mutant mass, and I'm shivering, trying not to be sick and sweating. This was a near daily basis. I remember
things we do.
That is the evolution of fitness. The fact that protein shakes are good now.
Yeah, you don't need a shovel to get it into the bloody blender.
Optimum Nutrition, Serious Mass, a big bag of it had 7 servings for something like a 4 kilo.
Yeah, because the shovel was like this big,
and you had to have like 1 serving was like 3 shakes. It was like 7 servings of actually 7 days worth of protein.
I think people have learned there's different ways to gain mass that don't require like these crazy.
Don't buy mass gainers, please.
No, but that's why you don't see so many of them now.
They're dead now.
Yeah, just get a good whey protein and find other ways to get carbs into your body.
Yeah.
Chuck a banana in there, some peanut butter. I hate peanut butter, but you probably like it.
I love peanut butter.
You put oats in my stuff. Then you get some ice cream in there as well. You get 1,000 calories.
Cereal. Love cereal in a shake.
Cereal does bang, to be fair. I've never done that.
Have you not? Granola. Granola in a shake. Yes.
I bet you're that guy who puts... You mix your cereal with protein shake instead of milk, don't you?
No, never done that.
Oh God, I've seen that.
My coach was like, yeah, man, you should do that with your Coke.
I love my cereal too much to ruin it.
Yeah.
I said, Doris, shut up, otherwise you could get sacked as my coach. He told me cream of rice was nice. I spat it on the floor.
I bought some cream of rice back from America and I was like, this is just paste. What is this?
He goes, oh, it's like a chocolate pudding. I said, Doris, take it from someone who literally was on the verge of diabetes for years of their life. I would drink anything sugary and eat anything sugary. You tell me that tastes like a pudding? If that's not going to put me in a coma early, I don't want it, Doris. I spat on the floor on camera to him.
It's like eating the stuff that they literally put wallpaper up
it's
with.
It's horrendous. He said, oh, you'll do it wrong. I said, I followed your instructions. Don't give me that shit anymore. I'd rather just eat arsehole.
Anyway, let's wrap up with topic
gym
number
culture.
3. Why is this a topic? Why are we talking about gym culture?
There's a question about harassment.
Oh, yeah, that's a fucking good one. Yeah.
Should we bring it up so we can bounce off that?
Yeah, you guys bounce fast.
While you're doing that, I will just go on to quickly back to the shakes thing. I think the thing that I learned was that I didn't need 1,000 calorie surplus to get bigger. I was like, I just need that 300, 400 calories.
Well,
that's more than enough.
I think the thing you can only gain muscle at a certain rate. You can peak at how fast you gain muscle, but you can gain fat at a much faster rate.
100%, mate.
So
100%.
Having a 200, you're probably going to gain the same amount of muscle with a 300 calorie surplus and a 1,000 calorie surplus, but you'll gain a lot more weight there because there's a lot more fat.
Yeah.
So
that was when the whole massive bulk and huge cut
dirty
culture.
bulk, Lee Priest dirty bulk, where
Well, someone don't use the analogy.
Lee Priest, how you doing?
He's done some cool things in his time. Done some other not so.
He
cool
got banned from competing because he was talked too much about taking gear, didn't he?
And he also shat on the IFBB, saying that he hates how only the top 3 Olympia competitors get money. So he said if he wins the Olympia, he's going to split his prize money against all competitors because they've all worked hard to be there and they should be rewarded for their efforts.
Ridiculous.
Which I really respect, and they hated him for that. He got banned after that.
Anyway,
but I respect that. Do you know what I mean? He's got a point.
Harassment.
Go on. Hit
This is also from Hannah, so I'm wondering if it's the same Hannah who.
I think I know which Hannah this is. So Hannah, if it's you, I think I know it's you, and I appreciate you and I respect you.
So it's another well-written message. So
is it a long one?
This episode clearly goes to Hannah. Yes.
Can we just title the episode 11?
Ode to Hannah.
Episode 11, just Hannah.
The Hannah episode.
Have you seen the film Hannah? That's very good.
It sounds scary.
It is a little bit.
Shit.
It's about a child who basically, becomes a bit of a killer, basically.
Yeah, so scary.
Sounds like me on my weekends. I hate scaries.
Shall I read Hannah's message?
Please.
It's about harassment in the gym.
Is it a long one?
No, it shouldn't take me too long. Yesterday, I was in the gym. I went to ask a guy how many sets he had left, and he said he wouldn't let me use the machine unless I gave him my Snapchat or my number.
Can I just throw a quick thing in there? How old do we reckon this guy is? Because if you're over the age of 21 using Snapchat, I think you need to consider where your priorities are.
I think the fact that he asked, I reckon he is probably far too old to be using it.
Like I said, I want to say it, but I'm not going to get myself cancelled on podcast. But if you're over the age of 21 and using Snapchat as a dude, then I'm calling somebody.
I said no as politely as possible. He went on to ask why. I felt obliged to explain I wasn't dating and had a bad breakup just before Christmas. He then asked me to hang out, asked me for my name and tried to continue the conversation. He must have asked me for my details almost 10 times, saying, "Do you want the machine?" and "Just let me know when you're ready then." Luckily, I'm quite a confident person. I laughed it off and I got them the machine in the end without having to give my details. I can imagine this would put some women off the gym.
Just a bit.
It's put me off the gym.
I think I might sell up and go.
And when I went to change afterwards, it occurred to me that if it was a quiet time, there were hardly any women around, and there's no door to the changing room. And suddenly felt afraid that I was, she basically felt afraid. I've been pestered a couple of times before, and it's always difficult when it comes to deciding whether to report to gym staff because as women, it's ingrained in us not to make a fuss. I know friends who've complained about behaviour like this before, who've been accused of making a big deal over nothing, not being able to take a joke, asking for attention, and in the worst cases being called frigid or a slut.
I have lots of thoughts on this.
I'm writing my thoughts down right now.
I have so many things to say about this.
This may be worth discussing on the podcast. It's upsetting to me that women might be put off going to the gym by this behaviour, especially in a male-dominated space, i.e. the weight section. This needs to stop.
Well, first off, I completely agree.
First off,
I think he's a fucking arsehole.
First off, I was shocked reading that because, I don't know, I guess we're fairly modern, people. But to hear that sort, I would have believed that maybe, 10 years ago, when gyms were scary places for even me starting out.
And Snapchat was more socially acceptable.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think gym culture was not quite so.
But to hear that is still even a.
I think with that particular case, I think obviously that guy is really bad at picking up social cues.
I think he's a cock.
He's got to be old. He's got to be old, surely. He's got to be antiquated as fuck.
Also, how big is your ego? You think you're that special that someone's going to be like, I'll let you use the machine if you give me a Snapchat. I said, no, Shamus, you let me use the machine, otherwise I'm going to give you a left hook to the jaw. Sit down. So you say to him.
She said no, probably quite a handful of times. I would have been embarrassed at that point.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm reporting it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, literally. First of all, you should probably shouldn't have asked, shouldn't need to say no in the first place. It shouldn't have occurred. But if it did occur, one no. That's too many. That's enough.
I'm amazed she entertained it as long as she did.
Well, I think because in that situation,
She just wanted the machine.
Yeah, well,
you probably
and,
can't believe it. You're like, what the fuck?
And you probably don't process it till afterwards. And you're like, shit, actually, that's not right. And again, you almost feel a bit, maybe something intimidated, or you don't know what to do.
How that conversation should have gone should have been, hi, can I use this machine? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, or like,
I've got 3 sets left.
Yeah, do you want to work in? No, okay, fine. Well, I'll
be done, and I'll give you a shout when I'm done.
Done.
I can't believe in one episode I've gone from praising the fact that it's like almost near 50-50 in the gym that I go to, which is congratulations to Mike on setting up a good gym. But to this conversation, which is like
far more common than you think.
I've got to say, I've used quite a lot of other gyms. Sorry, guys. In recent weeks, and I have to say, I think it is down to the culture sometimes of the gym, of the actual individual gym.
Also, talk to that man's parents. How they raise him, not very well. That's what I'm saying.
No, definitely.
At the end of the day, you're always going to get a handful of people who are cunts.
Yeah, I think
to use a correct word.
No, I think that is the official term.
And I'm apologising for the male species right now because I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, that's clapped.
That's fucked.
That is not cool.
We can't solve this problem, essentially, because...
But we can bring awareness to the problem, and thus encouraging people to be more aware
I'm just going to
vigilant.
say, ultimately, if you don't like it, then fucking tell someone.
I would say to like, if any of my members ever felt that way, I would want to know about it.
Of course you would.
100%. And I do encourage it. And we have unfortunately had 1 or 2 instances where we have actually... Well, I've kind of...
Cage fighter over here.
Yeah, where the member has kind of casually probably said something similar to Hannah, and I've kind of said, no, hang on, this conversation isn't over yet. Can you tell me a little bit more about this? How did it make you feel? And then they started to realise, oh, actually, no, this is not okay. And I think, I would always say definitely tell the member of staff. And you know what? If the staff turn around and tell you that you're asking for it, you're frigid, leave that gym.
Yeah,
leave that gym. It is a toxic environment.
How about this? Invite us to the gym and we'll review it on podcast and slaughter it.
Yeah. Just give us the name of the gym and we'll go.
Oh,
but
please.
I think that applies to any gym that we'd be at. It's a shame that you almost can't express the invite to those who are unaware around you. If anything were like that were to occur, I'd really appreciate if someone just came up to me and said, "Harry, this person's doing this. Can you give me a hand?" Then just bowl over and said, "What's the issue, big man?" Sorted. I wish that it was more normalised that people could approach those who are willing to help.
Call upon other people.
Yeah. I think without the fear of judgment or the fear of victim blaming.
Yeah.
I think again, I keep going back to it, but I think the culture of the gym, I think the staff have to police that to start with. I think they need to be vigilant with that, because with my team, I always say to people, like, if you feel uncomfortable with anything, come and speak to someone about it. Like, don't ever feel like what you feel is incorrect or stupid. Like, just come and talk about it.
I think the thing is I think we're lucky, like I said, we go to a gym where the community is so important. I feel like if anything like that were to occur, I feel because we've stamped it out.
Also,
we're quite known people in the gym in the sense that we speak to a lot of people, and obviously a lot of them hopefully listen to this podcast or tolerate it. I'd like to think that they would be able to come up to us and say, Harry, Mike, Chris, this person, probably not a regular member, has said this and this. Do you mind if you have a chat with them?
Yeah, we'll chase them out with fucking pitchforks.
But I'm obviously never going to be an arsehole, but it's going to be a simple of, that's not appropriate.
Well, I've had as a gym manager, I've had the uncomfortable conversations with people. I've had to say,
got to have them though. Got to have them.
I've had to go up to, and unfortunately, it is mostly men.
Oh yeah,
where you go up to them and you have to say, to them, like, look,
don't be a cock.
You're making someone feel uncomfortable. Like, can I ask you to stop doing what you're doing?
I'd be blown away if I heard a story of a woman making a man feel uncomfortable.
I'd be blown away if a woman ever approached me.
It has happened once or twice. I think it's more like, hypersexualization of like a good-looking man. Like, this woman was literally just following this guy.
I do have that problem.
Yeah, this woman was literally following this guy around the gym and just asking for his number, and he was like, "It's making me feel really uncomfortable." And I was like, "Well, no, it should make you feel uncomfortable because that's not okay to do that to someone."
That's ridiculous.
I think the thing that I find quite tricky with that is the gym is an environment that's welcome and open to anybody. It's a place where you go there to encourage progression that should be respected and appreciated. But when you do things like this, that can deter a lot of people from entering that welcoming and progressive environment, thus essentially hindering their ability to chase their goals, hindering their comfort levels, hindering their mental health, whatever it may be. And that then further feeds the problem of predatory behaviour often displayed by men, unfortunately. And that the behaviour is often displayed towards women. And do you know what I mean? It's just contributing to an already prominent issue. I've already mentioned it a few times in videos with Brett Contreras and Ryan Reed, where they've been allegedly, don't want to get sued here for defamation, very predatory to people. And it's like, that's not going to encourage anyone to go into the gym. It's going to essentially feed the toxic gym culture stereotype.
Oh, definitely.
Gym culture is quite toxic.
We've just talked about how the gym is basically, as you know, shaped us as people and been our sanctuary.
But I'd like to think it's because, again, this is individual, as in,
Yeah, of
I'd like to think we were raised well. I was raised in a house of only women since the age of 6 after my parents split. So I feel like due to that, that's maybe made me less likely to be that much of an arsehole.
I think.
But then, is there ever an excuse to be that much of an arsehole?
I think going back to the evolution of fitness as we see it, this is now becoming more of an isolated incident, and the fact that you know people are better.
I do worry that is it an isolated incident, or are we just not as exposed to it as we perhaps should be? Because it's a lot more common in bigger names in the industry, coaches, PTs, influencers. A lot more of them are coming out being exposed for doing shit like this, which makes you think, actually, it's more prominent than we think.
I guess it's because people feel more comfortable to speak out about it
Which
now,
is fantastic.
Which is great. So therefore, is that going to speed up the process of stamping it out?
It's tricky because ultimately... Toxic gym culture is one of the things where I don't think it'll ever go away, but it does need to be addressed. I know there are people who are trying to address it. I mean, it's partly what I'm trying to do with this.
That's what we try to do at East Park.
Yeah.
Again, I'll get you as an example.
Toxic office culture, toxic, everywhere culture.
If anything's toxic, it's probably a problem, unless it's Britney Spears' song "Toxic." It's a bloody good one.
I think when it comes to like toxic spaces, which gym is one of them, it's down to like the staff understanding what the goal is and of the company and making sure that everyone feels welcome. I think a gym is a very intimidating place, as you said, Harry.
Yeah, it sort of scares me sometimes.
People are going there and they're quite vulnerable because people are there for probably quite insecure reasons, because I often, that's still why I train for some degree, like to make myself feel good about myself.
100%.
And I always found it a bit weird that the gym was kind of treated as like a place to pick people up. I always found that a bit strange. Like, you're trying to get your session done.
It always used to be like in the press or the papers about how the number one place to meet people is go to the gym.
The thing is, I had this conversation with Jason actually. Well, we have this conversation quite often. Is that realistically, I feel like that regarding like partners and relationships, I'm more likely to meet somebody that I would engage like in a relationship with, like a potential long-term partner, somewhere like the gym, rather than like on a dating app. Because first of all, anxiety, I don't. The idea of going on, like,
you're more likely to make friends with that person there.
Yeah, and the thing is, if I see someone in the gym, I feel like immediately you've ticked a big box. Is that we have a very shared interest where we're passionate about resistance training, which again is such a big part of my life. I think it would probably. I'm not saying it definitely would, but
there's a difference. So you're not trying to pick that person up at the gym.
It wouldn't be intentional.
You're making their acquaintance there.
Yeah, we would probably get chatting just randomly at the gym. I wouldn't be directly looking.
This is the difference. Is long game. You're like, I need to get to know this person, feel comfortable. It's kind of, whereas this guy is literally just like, hi.
This guy thinks that chat up lines and pick up lines still exist.
Yeah.
You get me a chat up line on Tinder, I'll be like, Rosa red, violets are blue. My name's Harry, show me your poo.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like shit like that. That's what you get from me.
Okay, let's say Tinder is literally a place you go for dating. Therefore, a pickup line is not an unusual thing. However, go into a gym, obviously, but go into a gym. You ain't using, you ain't trying to get someone's digits like within 10 seconds.
Yeah, the way I kind of saw it is, if I'm going to the gym, I'm going there to optimize hypertrophy and achieve my goals. If I happen to stumble across somebody who I just like happen to get along with, ask for a spot, and we just get chatting naturally, fantastic. But I'm never going to actively go out saying, that person, I'm going to go off them. I'm sort of like, if we just chat, then cool. God. If not, then I'm not going to care.
I think we're just too socially awkward ever to be those people anyway.
And I also just want to absolutely ham my training so I can get juice to the gills and massive.
I've noticed definitely, and I won't name the brands because I don't want to, but definitely some gym brands where they have the demographic is definitely like a lot wider. There's a lot different like parts of the population in there.
I don't know who you're talking about.
So I do find that especially when you go in the free weights area, there is still this culture of like a woman in the free weights area is like a unicorn.
Well, everyone's just staring like...
Yeah,
Well,
I've seen that.
I'm going to draw upon my own experience in that when I worked with European, especially, is the worst. So European supplement brand, I'm not going to name them, but essentially their social media. So they were a big company in the UK, and they're a European-owned brand, and they stopped the marketing being done by UK people. They took it back to their own country and started running the UK social media account from their own country. So suddenly the UK style of kind of very broad, all-inclusive social media became uber muscly guys and really sexy girls. All their content was that. And I was like, this is so bad. This is so not good. This is so old-fashioned.
So dated, yeah.
And it just made me think that there are still parts of the world that do think that women should be nice to look at and men should be jacked.
Objectified.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is ridiculous. And yeah.
Well, it's very much I don't think there's ever someone should look a certain way. It's you should look how you want to look, not how others want you to look, which I'm sure some people would all agree with.
Yeah, of course.
And another thing I see in gyms like that which annoy me is like, and then you see a girl training and she's deadlifting or doing something, and then like the guys almost feel like they need to go up and start being like, oh, that's really good what you're doing. I mean, it's nice to acknowledge someone's hard work, but it's like you wouldn't come up to me and tell me that I've just done that.
The thing is, sometimes I wish that was more normalised, like going up to like dudes.
Going up to anyone.
Sometimes I see these kids at East Park and they squatting to good depth, like 16-year-old kids squatting to depth. I'm so like, I bet I want to go up to you and say, good shit,
you know
man.
what you should.
You're doing.
It's got to start somewhere.
I get really anxious, and I've seen like there was a woman in there the other a few weeks ago who was fucking nailing squats. I bet I'm say fucking. I didn't even want to talk to her. I just say good squat.
But that's
bye.
the other thing.
I wish I could do that to everyone.
But yeah. So equally, you're like. Sorry,
whoa,
just getting comfortable there. Equally, you feel like nervous to compliment a female because you think it would be perceived in a bad way.
I feel that way, even in my own gym when I'm putting away equipment, I want to acknowledge someone. I'm like, I don't want it to seem like I'm just trying to chat you up. Is, like, I just want to say, well done for being here.
The thing is, I know how positive something like that. Even yesterday, I was at the gym and one of the PTs at Slough came up to me and just said, "Holy fuck, you look sick. Really like your shape." We chatted to him. He's a friend of mine there, but I never take off my t-shirt. I was wearing a tank top, feeling juicy. Let's do it. And he came up and he was just gassing me up to everyone, and it's just like I felt really good. I was like, it's really nice that you've like acknowledged that something's going right, and it made me feel nice. And I wish that was more normalized, regardless of gender, to go up to someone and say, I don't even want to engage in conversation with you. I just want to say, that's a fucking good squat, and then leave. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to continue. I just want you to acknowledge that you're doing a good job. Any gender, right, and that you should just keep it up. Not because my validation is worth anything, just because I felt the need to just hope you know that you're appreciated and that what you're doing is paying off. We
call that pump fiction positivity right there.
But where we can't, because I feel like I get labelled as a predator for doing that to anybody in the gym, regardless of gender.
Yeah, because you're a big guy. Yeah.
But in reality, is that the thing that happens if I ever do that to women, they're like, he's trying to chat me up. I tell you right now, my anxiety, I don't know how to chat women. I don't know how to do that. Also, I'm far too anxious. Like, you think I'm trying to engage in chatting up? I want to go back to my hat squat, stack that bitch for sets of 10, and then just call it a day, because otherwise I'm going to call Mike, say, Mike spoke to a woman at the gym today. She said hi and asked to train together. I'm really scared. What do I do? Mike, please help me. Please help me.
Mike,
that'll be sick.
Can you revoke her membership, please? I don't need to see.
It's going to be the Tinder story all over again, where she's too attractive. I'm Harry is down. Harry is down. My enemies are after me. I
will actually say that when I pay someone a compliment in the gym, I actually mean it, because I'm 100%. Such a snob when it comes to things.
I think it's
gym.
A bit different coming from the gym owner, to be fair.
I know.
Than a member.
Yeah. So
we're more than members now.
So if I say that I think you're doing well on something, I genuinely mean it, because I wouldn't lie to you.
Would I lie to you, baby?
But yeah, I think kind of concluding that is, it's such a shame that's happened to Hannah, and I'm sorry that it did happen.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that needs to be addressed. It's something that needs to be called out. It's something that people need to be held accountable for, and we need to kind of work together as a collective, not just as men, but just as gym goers in general.
Definitely. Call it out.
Yeah, call out. How can we, at least, I know we're never going to necessarily fix gym culture, but how can we improve it as best as possible?
Wow,
It's a great
that's good.
song.
He's been looking for that. He's been looking for that the whole time.
It's a good
It's
song.
on my board. I'm ready to press it.
Guys, it's on my board.
Guys,
It's on my board.
It's level 6.
level 6.
No one's
boards.
actually noticed that I've arranged my samples to spell
PF.
PF. No one's noticed
I
that.
thought it was PH for a second. Pornhub.
What is going on?
Pornhub.
I agree. I think, call it out when you see it. I think if it happens to you, I think just definitely say to a member of staff, because you never know, like, you might actually realise that when someone, if you say it to a member of staff and they react to it in a bad way, that might tell you more about maybe you need to go train somewhere else, because
I agree.
That is not going to change anytime soon, especially if the staff don't even acknowledge it or recognise it.
And if you need to get rid of them, then just do this to them.
I'm Batman.
And then they'll go.
I think like a couple of things I want to mention is that realistically, it's just such a shame that this shit happens, and it is very unfortunate it's happening. But I also want to kind of normalize complimenting people in a non-predatory way.
Yeah.
So that maybe that could be a challenge of say something nice to someone in the gym, not for any other reason than you've acknowledged that
whether they're male or female.
Yeah,
regardless
of any gender, you go up to them and say, you know what, squat looks good. Crack on. You may even make a friend.
Yeah. Top tip: maybe acknowledge their effort. Say you're working really hard today.
Don't say
if I
your
do
biceps
that,
are looking scrumptious.
If I do that, they're going to think I've got an agenda. I know it.
And if anyone comes up to me and says that my glutes look massive, I know you're lying. So actually, be honest with the compliment. It's
you ain't
rude
getting
to lie.
calf compliments from me, pal.
You're not seeing my calves now. I've shaved them. They look significantly better. I looked at them, I was like, gee, look at these boys. I actually had
chicken fillets.
Not quite, but we're getting there. More chicken nuggets.
We need better seats. I'm sorry.
Well, it's a bit late for that now. Do you want me to change them now?
This is going to be bad.
I've shuffled around enough
the
today.
last point I want to mention was kind of regarding like if something does occur to you and you don't feel comfortable saying anything about it, don't feel pressure to, because I know it can be quite hard to take that leap and say this and admitting something made you feel uncomfortable and maybe asking for help. I think that's quite a challenge in itself, especially when people fear getting victim blamed, which unfortunately many people do.
That's not just gym, that's real life.
Yeah, that's real life, unfortunately. But again, if it makes it easier for you, speak to a friend and maybe they could bring it up for you. Speak to somebody. If you're comfortable doing so, just when you're ready, try and address it either directly or indirectly through somebody else. And as Mike said, if someone doesn't acknowledge or appreciate or victim blames you, then try and find another gym, because that's not an environment you're going to thrive in.
And you might find as well, if you start talking to other people about these things, you'll notice more of it, and then
and also they might have had similar experiences, maybe with similar people, which is very unfortunate, but also could be a reality.
And it could actually be very important for a business if there's a pattern of behaviour that it is easier.
Kill off the weeds.
Yeah. I mean, whenever a member has ever voiced anything to me like that, I've taken it very seriously.
You have to.
Because I remember the days when I would join a gym and just feel uncomfortable. So I can't imagine just having to deal with that just because of your gender.
Well, that's the thing.
Which is just not cool.
Think about, as men, how uncomfortable we felt going to the gym.
Oh, yeah, by other men.
Now, it's like, and now flip over to imagine how uncomfortable it must be for other genders. That, like, do you mean how uncomfortable it must be for them? I think it's one of those things of, if it does occur, it needs to be addressed, but also it needs to be prevented too. Which I know is
through education. I think, and a lot of that comes back to pointing it out. Like if you with a friend and they say something, I want to go ask her for a number. You can almost just say to her, like, do you think that's? Yeah. Do you think she wants that?
Maybe actually just fall into natural conversation.
Just be nice.
Yeah. Maybe introduce yourself and say,
just be like a normal person. Be nice.
Just maybe acknowledge that she's got good squat depth. I don't know, something like that.
I think just introduce yourself and just say,
hi, I'm Harry.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I'm Harry, I wear leggings. Do you like them?
Do you like my leggings?
Yeah, do you like my leggings? No.
I shave my calves. I
shaved my legs just now.
Maybe don't put your foot on the bench. Go, do you like my leggings?
He does that to me.
I do that to mine.
Don't do that to other people. And then like you can introduce yourself and then be like, just wanted to say hi. And then if they think that's weird, then whatever.
Then you leave it there.
Then you leave it there.
Literally, you read the room.
Don't then start to be like, so anyway, so Snapchat, then cool.
But yeah, I wouldn't go to the gym or approach somebody with the desire to pick them up. I would go with what Chris said, is just to make a friend. And if something goes further than that, then fantastic. If not, you've got a friend.
As someone who's had a couple of long-term relationships, the best relationships always come when you start as friends.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that.
I don't know. I'm just being honest. Like the person I'm married to, I was friends with for a long time before we got together, and I got to know that person very well. And ultimately, you're not going to, I don't know. I just think just be nice and normal
and be yourself.
It's not a game, the zoo is, the gym is not like a zoo and like a game where you got to pick people up and you got to just don't be weird.
The gym is a progressive environment we're all going to enhance our lives in some respect. If something comes from that, you meet somebody that who ends up being your life partner, fantastic. If you make friends through the gym, fantastic. But it's just a shame that we've spent, like Chris mentioned earlier, a significant portion of this podcast speaking about how the ratio has gone so favourably towards women entering the gym,
which is great,
which is fantastic. But also, we're still having shit like this occurring, which is actually going to negatively impact that ratio and potentially lead it to regress and go back to how it was.
Yes. Anyway, well, we can't fix everything, but we can
bring
try.
We
can talk about it, and that's good. And we're stumbling headfirst into another 2-hour show.
I'm getting my questions ready. Do you want to do a quick fire Q&A?
Okay, very, very quick Q&A questions. Otherwise, people will lose their shit with us.
So, let me find it. Let me think of... Oh, was it frozen? Is this what we're really doing this?
I like this though. I like having something to listen to.
How to progress legs when upper body can't handle heavier weights? I assume like maybe with things like RDLs where grip might be giving out before the legs do, in which case machines, straps, things that essentially limit the weak links and variables to consider, I would say.
Yeah.
Do different exercises, try different things, and it will come up naturally.
This is good. Where do you stand on gym vests? Like, how thin are the straps allowed to be?
So stringers we talking about?
I don't give a shit what you wear to the gym. Any gender.
Yeah, I don't think...
I will say, as a gym operator, there is a fine line when you're like, you just might as well take it off at that point when it's just basically not covering anything.
Like, obviously, as a bodybuilder who's worn many different things, the stringer vest is definitely not as popular as it used to be, I don't think.
I was rocking a stringer in winter back in the day, but then I realised
you've got one on now?
No, I actually don't. I've got a plain white t-shirt.
Yeah.
I don't mind a thin vest.
Hey, Delilah.
But I'll be honest, I'll only break out the vest when I feel like I look good enough.
I think I try and pull a vest off and I hate myself for it, so I just put a t-shirt
back.
A black t-shirt back on.
I'd say this applies to men, women and all genders, is that wear whatever you feel comfortable wearing.
Yeah.
Like, do you mean if I'm saying you can't wear a string?
That's a weird one in gyms when like people wear quite like revealing outfits, I suppose, and then some people get very offended by that, don't they? But I guess at the end of the day, you kind of wear what you want, right? Yeah. Why are you offended?
Why are you offended? At the end of the day, if you're happy, you're comfortable, and you're not upsetting anybody else, and you crack on with it. If you're upsetting somebody else, why are they getting upset over what you're wearing?
Projecting their own
if you feel confident, then
insecurities, maybe.
Get on,
Not training hard enough if you're worried about booty shorts.
Don't diss my booty shorts.
They are great.
Curious to hear your thoughts on professional fighters' weight cuts. So...
boxing weight cuts is quite
very aggressive, very unhealthy, but again, it's sport specific.
Yeah, and ultimately, I've got a friend of mine who does Muay Thai fights, done some big stuff at the O2, big wins and that. He does some serious like weight cuts in order to make weight for that. And amazingly, after the weigh-in, they just throw in all the food and the fluids and stuff like that. But I don't know.
I've got some clients that I do weight cuts with for comps and stuff. We've been messing around with some stuff, and I've listened to another podcast recently where they talked about how there's still some very old school methods that are used, like people doing extreme things like putting Epsom salts in baths.
Yeah, it's the Epsom salts.
I see those
the sweatsuit in a sauna.
There's even like this like sweat stick thing that they literally apply over their entire body, and it's just like you are doing so much damage to your body. And also,
I am a sweat stick. What's going on? Put me on your body, Mike. That's what I'm saying.
And then also it's all the rehydration afterwards, which is very dangerous. They don't do it proproperly.
Yeah,
fluctuations are anything, especially aggressive fluctuations, always going to be concerning.
Yeah, be very, very careful with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we work with a professional that's done it and knows,
because you can really funk your stuff up.
Yeah, and you can completely ruin your competition as well.
Yeah, and that's not worth
Performance in the bin.
We'll do one last quick easy one. Is it normal for my arm or leg to twitch/shake randomly the day after a hard workout? I mean, I wouldn't say that. Well, I mean, after a workout, I shake a lot, but again, the day after,
that could be some indication of maybe some kind of electrolyte imbalance. Maybe
I was going to say, what sodium intake things to consider.
I had the other day for about 2 days, my right hamstring, which is a bit twangy sometimes. It was just pulsating.
Happens at your ratio, doesn't it?
No, but then you'll get, sometimes you'll just see a muscle start twitching. And I guess it can be normal. I mean, massage is probably a good thing if if you're concerned about it.
Good thing it could be like just some obviously you've kind of by training you've stressed the body, so it's it's going to do some weird stuff afterwards.
If it's genuinely concerning you and you feel like this is an ongoing problem that's been occurring for a while, I'd probably speak to a medical professional, like a doctor. It's probably the best route, because we aren't qualified to really speak too much about it.
It really depends on what it is. But
it could be a lot of different things.
Because we have a very little amount of information and also very limited knowledge when it comes to that realm of medical profession.
Because it could be all kinds of stuff. So
I think that's it, really.
All right. Well, good. Another big show, guys.
The big show. WWE, love it.
The big show. So anyway, thank you for coming this far. If you have listened this far, then throw an emoji our way. If you do want to contribute or follow us, then do head to Pump Fiction Pod on Instagram. And if you are watching us on YouTube, you don't need to know this, but if you're not watching us on YouTube,
you probably can't see us.
You can't see me waving right now, and you also don't know the name of the YouTube channel, which is
Pump Fiction.
Well, that's quite good, isn't it?
With a space, obviously, between pump and fiction.
Yeah, just look for it. And if not, just put Pump Fiction Podcast. It'll definitely come up.
Or if not, go on the TFNL YouTube channel. At the bottom of the channel page is featured channels, and Pump Fiction is there.
Good stuff. So I've been Chris D. Fellows. You can follow me. He's been Harry_TFNL. You can follow him. And he's been Radical.Mike. And you can definitely follow that lovely long hair. Mike, how do you look after your hair?
Melissa asked, what's your hair care routine? Go on, piss her off.
I wash it once a week.
Do you condition?
No.
You don't put conditioner in?
Even I dabble with conditioner.
Even he dabbles with conditioner.
No. I do dabble. I put it on my...
I put it up.
Hairless body.
You condition
not anymore now. I'm slippery as it is.
Slippery eels. That's we are. We are slithering out of this episode. But thank you for listening. This has been another Pump Fiction Podcast, episode 11. We've made it this far. We're going to do it again. Just keep listening, really. Probably. Thanks for coming. See you later, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Mum.